did we go from bathtub to Battlegrounds?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
BGMI का यूनिवर्सल MVP वापस आएगा एक ब्लॉकबस्टर कमबैक के साथ। कुछ प्लेयर्स का जमाना होता है और कुछ के बनते हैं साम्राज्य। BGMS के मंच पे ओरंगुटान की पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त। Esports Ka Blockbuster.
With all the bonus cards now active, BGMS Season 4 just got even more interesting. Welcome to the League Stage Day 6, where I'm going to be a host of Castanet Crore. John alongside with me on the panel is Scaredy once again. And what we saw yesterday was absolutely mind-blowing. Aggression off the rip, and that's what we were searching for since the start.
I've been absolutely loving with the way how teams have been playing, right? Even Genesis Esports, we saw their own wrath coming in for the first 2 games against godlike Esports. Seems like we can really give them the terminology of the bounty hunters coming in. But it's not just them, even MyG lost Hermanos, they kind of impressed me. Team Aryan as well, them playing pretty decent yesterday. I mean, I'm seeing some of those names which are not really shining early on, now finally get back up.
And how can we forget that massive 1-on-4 clutch from the side of Spray God, being the impact player, still saving the day for the team, getting the chicken dinner at the same time. And it did not just end there. We also did see a massive clutch coming in from Victorious Sumus later on, taking down 2 teams off the rip, and that was absolutely monumental.
That was the whole point of discussion as well. It's not just you who was discussing on desk with Shadow about how Victorious Sumus are not really winning those fights when we want them to win. I was also discussing with the rest of the casters out there back in the launch that, yeah, we are not really seeing that kind of aggression, but man oh man, every single person made us silent after that clutch.
Exactly. And since we've been speaking so much about what happened yesterday, let's have a look at the recap of the day 5. Things started off on quite the fiery note. We had a new bonus card active, and of course, everyone wanted to take an advantage off that. And off the rip, we saw a bounty team getting eliminated by Genesis Esports, which was Hero Extreme Godlike. Luckily enough, the final man was able to escape, so that was not a total bounty claimed by Genesis, but still, it was a mark that was set.
And the mark was not just set by one team, but rather also one of the most impactful teams this Indian subcontinent has seen, and that was Team RN showcasing their class in that game. And it just did not end in that one, right? Genesis, they realized that we were not able to claim the bounty in one game. We're going to make sure we do that on the map of Miramar.
At this point, we got to start calling them the bounty hunters, but
I really want to see who Genesis wants to target, because they've got everything open up. The entire ground is in front of them.
I would recommend Genesis Esports to actually target someone who's quite famous once again, so that'll be pretty fun. Genesis Esports just hunting them down in vehicles. That's what we've been seeing for the past 2 days. And I love to see that every single time. And Genesis Esports does have the capability to shut down any other team in the top 4 teams. Anything can happen in the first game itself, ladies and gentlemen, as the plane's gonna hit the skies once again in the green pastures of Erangel, starting all the way from Georgepur towards the opposite side, which will be Yasna Poliana, and this plane flap pad tilted a little bit to the northern side.
That means God's Rain are going to have a lot of difficulty traversing down to the grounds of the southern side. Ferry Pier as well, where we've seen quite a few teams go there. It's not really going to be super easy about that. And we already know that in the first circle, we're going to have that power play activated too. It's going to be super fun now. We've mostly seen the circles made on the opposite side of the flight path, so I'm expecting a circle over towards the central or the southern central area, but holy smokes, look at that. God's Rain taking an early exit, this time moving towards Zarki. Now that is interesting, Necro, because normally every single time we've seen them drop a little bit down towards the Gatka side, or maybe drop somewhere around you know that bridge towards the containers and take some vehicles, run all the way down towards Sosnovka military base. But this is the first time when we are actually seeing them not go there and prioritize an entirely new drop location.
Let's see if it's going to be working out or not. And it makes a lot of sense too, right? You do not really want to be targeted. So that's probably one of those reasons why we're seeing those drop locations switched up.
That's interesting.
Flashes are definitely something that might just put you outside of your comfort zone. And that is something that these teams definitely do want to avoid. Mad Kings too, they've got quite a massive spread towards Ruins and Gatka. Let's see if this one is going to be working out well or not. And looking at the circle, too, it's quite the standard shift. 8-bit once again all the way towards Pochinki. They've got the smack center. It's also going to be the advantageous spot to kick things off with. Global Esports towards Yasna Poliana. That's another thing. And you spoke about Drop Clash. Where do you see it? Towards Rozhok?
Yeah, Lipovka. That's also happening, and that's a big one. TWOB, Revenant X Park, both of them out there along with Phoenix. 3 teams up against each other. Another trifecta happening out, and TWOB are the ones who've got a massive advantage. Phantom answering back big time, but they've still lost a couple of players for themselves, including Avi, and Mac is just barely breathing. So it's Pukar who now needs to pull the strings.
Mac does not have any sort of weaponry. He's only got a melee weapon to work with. A machete. It's not going to be helping him too much inside of these combats. Phoenix Esports now starting to rip apart the players of TWOB right next to the players of Revenant X Park as well. And Phoenix Esports, now they want to be part of the action too. Phoenix Golden able to shut down Phantom from TWOB. TWOB is getting banged up from both the sides. It's not the way TWOB wanted to play this fight. It's not something TWOB wanted to happen, but it is happening to them. And just like that, within a blink of an eye, TWOB might just be vanished from this game, and that's what happens. But still, the fight continues between Phoenix Esports and Revenant X Park. But keep this thing in mind, none of these teams actually do have any sort of bounty on top of their head. Everyone's just playing for the power play and also to get those impact player points in their hands.
That's going to be a big thing right now. This fight needs to be resolved as quickly as possible because Genesis is also lurking on the shadows right at the very edge right now. And if the commotion goes on for a little bit longer, they're going to hear it. They're going to want to join in the action by reading the finish feed.
Sensei, the only man standing, taking those shots with the S12K, and he finds success too! 1 bullet in the magazine. Sensei needs to go for the fresh magazine right now. But that 1 bullet, he's going to use it to thirst the player. But Sensei took a bit too much damage upon himself. Greed is never good, but at least he got those points. 6 points accumulated so far for Revenant X Park, but now Sensei's getting pounced up. But he still somehow saves himself. Genesis Esports, even they make their entrance towards Lipovka. A third party from Genesis to wipe out the dreams of Phoenix Esports. This will be intense.
It's going to be a fourth party pretty soon as well, as Genesis wants to join in the action, but Global Esports have decided to attack the exact same fray. It's not Lipovka anymore, man. It's some burning grounds of Sanhok boot camp in your rank lobby. Everyone's jumping there. The confirmations are going to flow in for Gravity. It's one of the big things happening. I'm pretty sure it's Gravity as well as their impact player, or rather it's Hunters. I was really hoping for Hunters to try and pick a few pieces up just to get some extra bit of points out there.
Yeah, but Genesis Esports, they're not going to be taking a lot of damage from this fight. So it's all good in the hood. Even if Global Esports ends up going for this fight, it's not going to be that big of a problem. There's still Jutin behind that doorway, and Jutin knew he could not do anything. Man gets eliminated in the end. Genesis Esports, what a clear-up that was.
It's not just Global Esports hopping there, it's also Godlike who've decided to move towards Lipovka. And yes, people are reading the finish feed, or rather the map feed. Make sure you check that out as well. This is interesting.
They're not close enough yet though, so that's a whole different story.
They can show up.
And I highly doubt Global Esports is going to try to go for a proper execution towards Lipovka. I don't think it's going to be happening. Yeah, they were probably surrounding the grounds. They were trying to get the lay of the land, know exactly what's going on inside of Lipovka, but they haven't struck yet. And I don't think they will strike. Because they know they've got the future grounds to try and traverse to.
I mean, had it been a few casualties for Genesis in that fight, maybe then Global Esports would have decided to pounce onto them. Considering how clean Genesis were, it's absolutely fine and fair that it's not really coming through now. And if Global Esports would have decided to barge into that fight, it would have been Genesis versus Global Esports. Then Godlike with this fifth party would have decided to join in the entire action as well. They don't have a bounty on them, so they're absolutely fine hunting the other teams because at least that pressure is off. But now that we're talking about that, Necro, we saw Godlike yesterday trying to change their drop locations to avoid any major drop clashes. But even after that, they were eventually hunted down by Genesis. And I think so it's about that bounty pressure which they need to learn how to handle.
Global Esports, once again, with the way things are situated, not really making a lot of moves, just casually strolling around this vicinity to find at least one loose straggler from Genesis. But Global Esports, at this point in time, I highly doubt we might see them go for a proper fight against Genesis. Keep this thing in mind, power play still active. And especially with power play being active, you never know, a fight might just erupt any time. It's there for the next minute and 30 seconds. Soul's on the move once again, done with their loot. Always like to drop in towards school and the school apartments. We did see Soul extend a bit towards Rozhok as well, but then they decided not to go for a fight over there. 8-bit next to Marcos Gaming, a team that's been making decent waves. Marcos Gaming, they're doing quite okay in the overall standings too. It's another one of those teams that can surprise us any moment. Gyro going for those shots, not finding any connection yet. But in return, ends up giving his own position away.
Yeah. It's a weird split right now that 8-bit are actually playing with. And if in those stray shots Marcos Gaming find a knock, I'm not quite sure if 8-bit would be able to get that rival in on time. It's a 2-2 split right now, but that is a very far and wide split. It's probably something Somraj really wants to try and pull, that regardless of any hardship, maybe can help his team out right now, but NoNx would really need something to help them out right. 40R answering back perfectly. It's not just one, but rather two of the rotators being caught out in the open. Pain is live, destroyed, as he was the impact player for the team as well, but Rapido being answered back as well. So 40R are not giving it up without a fight.
Z-God was able to find an important knock as well against Rapido. And NoNx now in a big world of trouble. Just one last man standing with Jiskana. And I highly doubt this man can do anything. He just needs to back away. It's the only glimmer of hope standing for his team. And luckily enough, all of that happened inside of the power play. So all the elimination points that they gathered were double upped. So once again, it's a win-win situation for the opposing team.
Yeah.
Rapido's still knocked out, by the way. The confirmation hasn't been followed up yet. So that means Rapido's elimination point's not going to be doubled up.
Oh, something else that's happening. It's actually on the northeastern edge entirely. The members of Godlike in the close vicinity of Genesis as well. So,
this should not happen.
Maybe we might see that engagement too. And Global Esports are also there, by the way.
Would love to see it. Global Esports, they're like vultures.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a fight to commence, and Global Esports will definitely go for the third party. But look at what's happening here. NINZA in a big wall of trouble. Beard Baba falls down and shattered. Man gets confirmed. NINZA. What was Beard Baba doing in such an awkward spot? He gets ambushed by the players of OG. And now OG just taking those shots against NINZA. They found themselves in such a massive crossfire. It's a massive sandwich, but they're still somehow fighting back. Poco! What? He strikes down 2 players. K9 Esports. They mess things up massively. Tables being flipped. K9 almost losing that fight. Poco somehow managed to save the day, but K9 Esports, they're not done yet. They need to continue the fight against OG. NINZA, they get eliminated, but K9 Esports, they need to find an escape route, and that's what they're doing. Slug on the back, the man still knocked out. Buggy, it's too exposed for the man on the back. A few shots can actually get the confirmation on towards Slug as well, but luckily enough, he's driving in a zigzag pattern, and that's going to save the day.
But not for a long ride, because K9, yes, those 2 people are going to survive. But here on the other end, some of the answer back coming in from God's Rain as well will take one of the other member away. Godlike and Genesis in that one engagement, which we were mentioning a while ago. It's Godlike surviving as of now, as Genesis lose a couple of members. They lose their limbs, but they're still surviving through. They've still got some support coming in, as Gods eventually is brought back up on his feet as well. Jonathan pretty low in that HP, so he's going to patch himself up. And the spray does not connect from the man.
Interesting. We're seeing a switch up in the playing 4 of Hero Extreme. Godlike Simp is now benched, and Gods is in the playing 4. Let's see how much of an impact this can really have. Hero Extreme, Godlike, they ended up winning the fight against Genesis Esports, so that's an important thing as well. And Gravity tossing out those utilities. Here, Extreme Godlike, yeah, still getting chipped up pretty bad by the play zone, but it's fine. They've got the man advantage. They can easily overwhelm Gravity. God's driving around. Gravity's position noticed, and that will be the elimination claimed by Admino. Here, Extreme Godlike, flawless conversion in this fight, and now it's time to move on inside of the zone and find a better place. But here's the problem. 40% of the zone, it's unplayable.
I like how you do that quick math. Down on some part of it in the water, a bit on the military base island as well. And this is one of those ridges, or rather the cliffs, where even if you decide to play in the water, you can't really climb up until and unless you're somewhere down the southern side of farm on towards the beaches. So if the circle takes another western shift, if there is anyone who's even thinking of playing around that shoreline, yeah, it's not really going to be the best decision out. And it's mostly a flattened open ground. That means more of those long-range fights. This means those warehouses, which are spread out, they become even more crucial for the teams to grab up.
Yeah, it depends though, right? Majority of these teams are going to try to place themselves around the shorelines, and that's where the terrain does come into play. There are a few dips that you can play with, a few high grounds as well that you can try and contest. They can definitely help you quite a bit in the firefights. Those advantages, high ground spots, is something that you need, and Marcos Gaming, they currently have it. Batopia, like the split from the player. He knows Gyro's going to be able to provide that cover fire anyway, so he splits as long as possible, which is a great split. But 4TR in a big wall of trouble. Morty, utilities were tossed on top of the man, but he's not going to be able to escape the grip of death as he gets eliminated too. That's going to be it for 4TR. Decent bit of teams eliminated in the stage 3 itself.
It's going to slow things down as well, and it's going to give a very easy path for all the teams who are outside of the circle to make it inside right now. Godlike, they're going to fly by pretty close to the members of Global Esports, so that's one bounty which could be claimed. God's Reign have got a bounty which could be claimed. OG have a bounty which could be claimed, and Soul as well. I mean, all of these bounties are still up for grabs.
Yeah.
Everyone else is being eliminated. K9, yeah, they're almost out. Only got one member. NoNx, just 2 members converting that entire fight. Good luck with that. Godlike is someone who can probably do that. I would have taken the name of 8-bit as well, but with the way how they've been playing for the past 3 days, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, 8-Bit's been making a lot of changes. That's what it feels like. And I guess the biggest change was Equinox. Since the man's not in the playing fourth, the man's facing an injury.
Yeah.
Hopefully he recovers as soon as possible. They probably do want Equinox to be there in the grand final so that 8-Bit's performance will be as supreme as possible. But still, if you really think about it, the playing four of 8-Bit is still pretty solid.
I mean, it is, but one of the biggest surprising factors was Somraj being the impact player.
Global Esports in a problematic spot.
Manya.
Man knocked out and confirmed. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there.
No idea.
But Global Esports, yeah, now the remaining 3 players put in an extremely bad spot. And I'm not sure what the game plan's now going to be for those remaining 3 players from Global Esports. There's Marcos Gaming on the hilltop. Global Esports. Oh, they decided to stop the vehicles right underneath the hilltop in front of the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Hero Extreme Godlike needs to be watchful now. They cannot really extend themselves a bit too much. Stretch is going to be tough.
If you technically consider that still is a pretty decent spot as long as you can cover yourself up with the smoke. So it's going to be crucial. But right now my focus is on the members of OG as to what they're going to do. You move over towards the western side. That's Soul waiting for you. You move over towards the east where they're trying to traverse right now. There's 8-Bit down south of you. There is no clear path for them to actually make this entry. They have to brute force their way through a fight.
Still majority of the zone's unplayable. And that's the problem.
30%.
Yeah. Technically, if you think about it, majority of these teams are going to try to settle around the edges. Being out in the open does not really make a lot of sense. So that why majority of the zone, in my opinion, seems quite unplayable. Unless if you've got a compound, then that's a whole different thing. But the only team with a compound is God's Reign. They are quite comfy, at least as of now. 8-Bit under fire from the players of OG. And keep this thing in mind, OG's got the bounty on top of their head. If 8-Bit somehow ends up wiping out OG, that will be additional 10 points. And yes, even the impact player comes into play. So if Somraj is able to eliminate all the 4 players, then that's a lot of points.
Why are you smiling? Still gonna try and take that fight, OG. It seems like they've still found a little bit of a breathing room between the western control of Soul and the northern control of 8-Bit. And if in case the blue strikes and the circle shifts a bit more south, then it's going to be 8-Bit who will face some problems trying to traverse their own way.
Wow, the man's just enjoying.
Don't ask me what he's doing there, why
he's enjoying the scenery.
Standing there, but yeah. I'm pretty sure Nakul is going to have a watch onto him and he's going to finish them off. Him off. Pretty soon. It's going to happen.
I think he's got a nice little pocket to play with.
I think so. I actually like the position of Mad Kings out here.
Yeah, of course. On the edge lines, they've got a solid spot. Knuckles got no clue that there's Beast right behind that pocket. The man's being watched. If he makes a single move, he will be eliminated from the game. Feel kind of bad for K9 Esports. It's been rough days for them. They've gotten 4 finish points so far, but I'm not exactly sure if they got those 4 points in the power play. If they did, then that will be doubled up, and that's a decent bit of points in this one game. 8-Bit, finally, they decide to break outside of their shell.
There we go.
Stepping outside of their comfort zone now, looking to take a fight against OG. This will be a tough one. But 8-Bit, they still have got the plans to eliminate the entirety of OG, and they do not want to back away from this fight. But the blue's on the move, and that's going to force the players of 8-Bit to make it inside of the circle as soon as possible. And that blue is constantly pushing them outside of their limits.
Big. I'm pretty sure this fight is now finally going to break out, and that's God's Reign who will pick up quite a lot of pieces, considering they are the ones who've got a clear line of sight on OG after that hell ends, and then Godlike on the other side. They've got a perfect chance to go in for this third party, since Global Esports will be a bit too focused on Marcos Gaming right above them.
How's 8-Bit supposed to make a move now? How can they make it inside of the circle? The crowds are quite exposed.
I'm more worried about the 2 players from NoNx who are just at the very edge, who can ruin this entire fight right now.
OG pulling off quite a risky rotation out in the open. A lot of teams taking shots against him, but OG still somehow intact. They aren't really taking a lot of damage upon themselves, but God's his position. It's definitely noticed now. The man's taking a bit of that damage upon himself from the side of 8-Bit. Does get chipped up and bruised up, but it's not enough to get the knock. And Global Esports right in front of them. There's OG. 8-Bit now, if they want, they can really go and backstab this entire fight. And that's what 8-Bit's going to try to do. Get those points. Get those eliminations from the back. That's a feast right in front of them.
Or rather, they can just try and go and fight against godlike gods and the rest of the godlike who are eventually trying to provide him a cover fire. That's kind of a big thing. Right now, Radiant's been knocked out by Jonathan. That's a big. It's exactly the fight that we were focusing on, as well as Mad Kings right now trying to stop the members of Soul. We've been seeing a few of those fights happen on both the different fronts. But it's actually godlike who are trying to eliminate the people left, right and center. There's also God's Reign who are picking a piece from the fight of Soul and Mad Kings. It's a madness chaos.
Godlike's taking a lot of fights. Mad Kings against the players of Soul. It's one of those fights that's not really coming into fruition. Yes, Apollo's knocked out, but I'm pretty sure the man's going to be back up on his feet. But back towards this fight, which is the most important one. It's a massive trifecta of death. 4 teams right next to each other. Hero Extreme Godlike taking shots against 8-Bit, and 8-Bit's already hurt. They're bruised up, they're scratched up. They can't really do a lot in the given position they've got. And especially for Hero Extreme Godlike, they've got all the 4 players intact, so they can still squeeze in a lot of points. All these 4 players from Hero Extreme Godlike, they got to worry about the players of OG as well, and just like that, 8-Bit, they get eliminated from this game. They could have played it much better, but 8-Bit messed up.
Oh my god, bro. Still can't think about the fact how Aru called his team to make that mad dash, and how did they survive without a single casualty, and how 8-Bit ended up biting the dust. Isn't that the exact same scenario which I said might happen?
Look, there's a reason why OG is currently one of the best teams out there, or probably the best team in this circuit, as of now. There's a reason behind that.
Big 3-pointer.
And it is the brains of Aru. Return to utilities. They do find a knock onto Aru. The IGL's down. OG needs to back up a little bit. Get that revival on towards Aru. Get the man healthy.
Another
nade tossed up, but it's luckily enough. There is the vehicle that's going to save the day. The utilities are now getting real up close and personal, and OG, they're catching a lot of hurt from that. Hero Extreme Godlike in the back lines. They're still getting scratched up by someone else. Ooh, it's not a good position to be in, but Hero Extreme Godlike, they soon will need to make a pounce now. Just utilities being exchanged, burning through each other's ammunition, meds. That's what's going on. Scratching each other up.
Okay.
This little chip damage can actually go a long way, and this is what I'm talking about. Finally a nade lands. Hero Extreme Godlike now in a big world of trouble. And this might just be the handicap moment that OG was searching for.
I don't think so. I think so they're going to still hold on to their own area right now. Hermanos has been landing in some big 3-pointers. And it's not going to catch one, but rather 3 knocks. It's insane, and it's only Wiz remaining. What an insane play coming in from Godlike. They can claim the bounty as well as the shots are fired. But Spray God firing from the back. Answers on the other side. Insane performance coming in.
God's the only man standing for Hero Extreme Godlike, but Global Esports and OG together firing against the entirety of Hero Extreme Godlike, and they did not even stand a single chance. Now it's down to just Gods, one last man, the final glimmer of hope for Hero Extreme Godlike and their fans. What can Gods do? The man's tossing out a smoke trail. He does have a vehicle to play with, but that vehicle as well is smoking, so Gods cannot really take a lot of damage on the vehicle too. Mad Kings, they've got their own fair share of problem. Clutch God's knocked out. Sam and Shadow in the back lines. They do want to get the revival, tossing out those smokes. Clutch God can still be saved up. But the main issue is going to be Soul in the back, and Soul will try to apply as much pressure as possible on Mad Kings. Mad Kings,
Gods,
they're not doing too hot. But Spray God, he gets knocked out. It's not a good news. Gods, the man still somehow surviving, makes it on top, but in the end gets eliminated by Troy from Global Esports. That's revenge. Global Esports still cooking in the game with just one man, but Marcos Gaming, they're still there too.
Marcos are definitely there, but I don't think so. Godlike are going to be pretty shy or bad-mouthed about that, because I'm pretty sure they claimed the bounty on OG as well. 3 knock by Admino, the final one finished off by Gods. I think so. They've done what they wanted to do. Jonathan also had quite a lot of finishes in that one, so that's extra
points. Oh my
points.
god, Mad Kings.
And there we go. They just get destroyed instantly by God's Rain, and this time it just seems a barrage of 3-pointers, like every single one wants to turn into Midorima Shintaro.
Remember what I tell you every single time, I'm not a big fan of dips, and that's one of the main reasons why not. If you toss a nade, it's always going to land right in the center. And that's what happened.
True.
God's Rain for them. The 3-pointers were way too easy to be landed. And they actually landed them quite well. God's Rain now under heavy fire from Marcos Gaming. Those shots are not finding connection, but definitely suppressing the intentions. As God's Rain, luckily enough, one of the men from the side of Marcos Gaming is taking heavy beating upon himself behind the shack. Now Molotov tossed as well. Superman wants to crawl back to safety. Blue's on the move. Troy needs to be on the move as well. And the man can't really do a lot, but finally makes it in the zone. The man's barely surviving on a pixel of HP. This nade from Naughty has to find the connection, and it will. Global Esports down and out from the game, but Marcos Gaming, they've taken a massive punch in the gut.
That's but 3 points still coming in from Naughty, the impact player. 6 total points from the finish. Here we go.
Oh no.
God's Rain, they're being taken down right now. Nakul catches Destro, and that's a big one. They've still got the bounty on top of their head as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, I need a confirmation on that. I'm pretty sure Soul's one player was also finished off by God's Rain. The nade can be big, bounces off a little bit wide.
That pressure applied from Soul.
Another.
It's a bit too overwhelming for the side of God's Rain. There's still Delta in the back, but even he gets shut down. Soul on the verge of clenching their fists and winning this game, potentially. They've got 3 men standing. God's Rain could be the only team with the potential to stop Soul from conquering this game. But I highly doubt God's Rain now stands a chance. Justin, the only man standing, Knuckles out in the open. If Marcos Gaming wants to shut down Soul, right now is the time. And that's what they exactly do. They find a crucial knock on the Joker. Soul down to a 2-man squad. Legit and Knuckle. The IGL still alive. The big brain still active. Justin behind this buggy, still somehow squeezing in. 8 finishes racked up from God's Rain. That's enough to give them confidence. A Groza and a 4X from the side of Gyro God. It's not something that you see too often, but Soul, enough time for them to go for the recovery.
They're going to make sure that they hit the revival because Marcos Gaming, they've still got a couple of players remaining. As you rightly mentioned, Naughty and Gyro God can eventually steal it away. But the big question is, Soul want this bounty. They want to get the last player of God's Rain as well. They've eliminated 3 of them. And Legit has also got 3 finishes. That's already 6 points coming in from the dude. The circle is going to favor Soul regardless. If it swaps in over towards Marcos Gaming, then I think so the best decision for Soul would be to make a mad dash finish of Justin, get that bounty point, and then eventually work their way around. But here we go. Justin. If I'm Justin at this point, I'd rather let the blue do the work and deny the bounty.
Yeah, but you've got Knuckle constantly creeping and crawling towards left.
Justin will see him.
Looking for an off angle. No, there's a bit of that ridge, actually. That slope is something that's saving the day for Knuckle constantly. And now, finally, the man's going to look to make the bounce. Smoke's tossed out from Soul. They're done waiting. They're done playing the passive game. Now Knuckle really wants to take the advantage. He's looking for the last man of God's Rain, which is Justin.
Last pixel.
Constantly spotting that player, but he's not able to get any sort of line of sight. He does not know where Justin is now. The man's completely lost. Knuckles not able to get the line of sight. He does not have any sort of confirmation.
Smart.
This can be massive gameplay for Soul.
This is such a smart move again, dropping your bag as well along with the pan to make sure that no one sees that popping out of the grass. And he's dropped it closer to him as well so that he can pick it up whenever he wants to and go for the fight.
The stalemate's now getting too awkward. Marcos Gaming, they've got their own territory, but they're still not deciding to strike. Even Soul's playing this extremely passive. Justin, the man's going to be engulfed by the blue soon. And I guess that's what the call was. To let Justin be eliminated by the play zone itself. And the bounty's now denied. In my opinion, that's a 5-headed play right there from Justin. Because he knew if Soul gets the bounty, they will be unstoppable in the overall standings. And now Soul, they've got the man advantage. And Soul knows that. Knuckle instantly repositioning himself. And this reposition from Knuckle, it's going to give them a lot of coverage and also a lot of control.
I genuinely don't like this decision as well. I mean, I would have rather seen 3 players of Soul hunt down that one last player of God's Reign as well. Where's the maximum he could have gone? He had a solid cover of blown car. That's 10 points from the bounty itself. And if you let Legit finish that off, that's another extra point added because of the impact player.
Soul wants to play for the win. And it's fine though. Soul's still doing pretty hot in the overall standings. After this win, I'm pretty sure Soul's going to crack inside of the top 4. They will be unstoppable. And now finally Soul, they make the pounce. They're the prowlers in this game. But still Marcos Gaming, they're not someone who's going to shy back just like that. Gyro God is able to win that duel. And now Knuckle as well gets lost. And he gets body slammed. Marcos Gaming replying back Soul in quite a massive style. Naughty, the man's bruised up. He's chipped up pretty low, but Naughty finally steps outside his comfort zone and he wins that duel! How did this happen? Marcos Gaming! The dual winning capabilities from this team, it's absolutely inhuman! And they still win an unthinkable situation! We all were thinking it will be Soul to take the cake, but Marcos Gaming out of nowhere! They come in and they destroy and blow up the rocket!
You talk about Superman once, he stands up. You talk about Naughty, he stands up. Gyro God, it's every single person performing on this roster. The individuals are just blowing my mind at this point. And Naughty is also the impact player. That dude gets additional points for the team. Again, I did not like the decision of Soul playing passive against God's Reign. Now they did not just lose the 10 bounty points, but they also lost that extra 10 placement points from the first chicken dinner positioning game. Again, that's just one decision. It's steamrolling into something entirely different. And yes, they had a decent amount of finishes, but it's mostly thanks to Legit. But Marcos Gaming, that 1-1 split. Holy smokes, Naughty.
Winning those duels was extremely crucial. Before now, we've got a short interview lined up with the boys of Marcos Gaming. So let's move on to the stage for the interview.
ये सही नहीं है ऑडी भाई नकुल का बर्थडे यार आज
हैप्पी बर्थडे नकुल भाई
हमारे जो कमेंटेटर्स हैं जो कास्टर्स हैं जो अंदर सबसे बात कर रहे हैं उनमें से एक ने कहा था कि iQOO सोल के जबड़े से ये चिकन डिनर निकालना बहुत मुश्किल है आपने नामुमकिन को मुमकिन कर दिखाया है टेक अस थ्रू दैट फाइनल बैटल iQOO सोल उनके ज्यादा प्लेयर्स एक्टिव थे लेकिन जीत आपकी हुई है
अब कुछ नहीं कह सकते उसमें जो दिख रहा था बस मार रहे थे अब लास्ट में दिख रहा था कि 3 बंदे हैं और मेरे को लगा था कि मार दूंगा तो फिर मार दिया
ऐसी सिचुएशंस में जब ऑड्स आपके खिलाफ होते हैं दी ओनली वे फॉर यू इज टू गो अग्रेसिव या वहां पे सूझबूझ जो है उसके लिए थोड़ा टाइम मिलता है
वो टाइमिंग के ऊपर टाइमिंग का खेल था कि थोड़ा रुका फिर दिखे कि प्लेयर्स दिख रहे हैं तो फिर तब अग्रेसिव थोड़ा
जब दिन के पहले मैच में ही आपको चिकन डिनर मिल जाता है आप मैच जीत लेते हैं हाउ डू यू प्रेप फॉर द रिमेनिंग मैचेस देन
वही कंटिन्यू फ्लो को कंटिन्यू रखना है जैसे चल रहे हैं वैसे चलते रहेंगे
भाई इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर आप और इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर की क्या परफॉर्मेंस रही है नॉटी कांग्रेचुलेशंस ब्रिलियंट गेम वन ऑफ द मोमेंट्स टू रिमेंबर दिस फर्स्ट मैच लेंगे एक छोटा सा ब्रेक अनबिलीवेबल
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
A remarkable gift for the birthday boy from the side of Marcos Gaming, and what a way to kick the day off as well. This is what you expect from a banner like Marcos Gaming. This is one of those teams that we saw for the first time in 2024 and made it to the LAN finals as well, and they actually made it in quite the style too. But once again, guys, if you guys want to keep your apps and data safe, you guys should move on and check out the Google Play Protect itself. It's going to help you keep your apps and data safe. But back towards the conversation that we're having, Naughty, the man being the impact player, still able to have so much impact, saving the day for his team, getting that chicken dinner, and it's not the first time Marcos Gaming has done something like this. They've also done this once in the past, in the first game as well.
I mean, I remember at that time it was Superman to create similar kind of off angle and then get those couple of knocks away from the members of God's Reign, and then eventually turned around to smack the rest of the members of Revenant Xbox. That was a fantastic performance. Today, Naughty standing up with 6 finishes means 12 points is this man individually gifting back to his own team. And that's such a phenomenal birthday gift,
And
right?
I'm pretty sure a few of them might just be in the power play as well.
It could be highly possible, right? We did see quite a lot of finishes happening here and there, though, but having a look at the stars of the match too, Naughty being the finisher as well as the most star player out there, but Punk getting those 2 rescues as well for the team. Godlike, they eventually fizzled out too, but I'll have to say they ended up claiming the bounty of OG, and I'm pretty sure they ended up doing that too, so that's a big thing for their side.
Once we see the match rankings pop up on the screen, things will be cleared up. But yeah, Hero Extreme Godlike, it's quite bad that they got caught up between 2 or 3 different teams. Even OG was taking those shots. Then even Global Esports stepped inside of the fray and were taking those shots. So Hero Extreme Godlike could not really do a lot in that given circumstance. But having a look at the OnePlus never settled moments, you guys would clearly see how the action kicked off. NINZA unfortunately 4th, and they were in quite the hot water. Clashed up against the players of K9 Esports and even against the players of OG.
Eventually getting, or rather biting the dust out there. That was a bit of a struggle coming in for their side. But I'll have to say, you know, one of the big highlights for Godlike fans would be this one nade from Admino. There's a reason why everyone calls him Godmino out there, because of these nasty nade lineups. He's been learning quite a few from Jonathan, I must say. But overall, this was an absolute mad shot from Naughty.
Of course.
Landing 2 to 3 right on the skull, because that's the only thing you can see. Absolutely brilliant.
Executing a 2-on-3, especially in the final few moments. That too against one of those experienced teams. It's always tough, and Marcos Gaming, even though they do not really have as much experience compared to all the other known names, they still are doing an extremely insane job. As we move on towards the match rankings, so far Marcos Gaming with 25 points on the lead, but Hero Extreme Godlike claiming that bounty has gotten them 24 points, which is of course insane too.
Now that you really talk about it, right, all that lead everyone's been building up, it's eventually been thwarted. Every single team right now, they're so close to each other if you're talking about the top 8, even up until top 10. But this is where main problem begins, right? Teams like 8-Bit again having a lot of struggles, a lot of problems trying to keep that consistency up. OG still up though, but Godlike instantly moving up into that top 3.
And now Hero Extreme Godlike will also have the bounty on top of their head at the start of the day. Godlike did not But since they have had such a massive performance in the game one, that's going to propel them in the top 4 with the bounty on their skulls. You've also got God's Reign still sitting on the 4th spot with 135 points. Soul as well right there with 154, and OG once again untouched with 176. But back towards the Marcos Gaming conversation that I was having, right? In the past, this banner or this lineup was known as God's Omen. In the official, they were able to qualify till the LAN finals. And once again, they've always been the X factor that you never expect to perform, but they still somehow end up performing.
At this point, it just falls down that they will be standing up regardless of what you really think about it, and they're going to make sure that they are slowly and steadily climbing up in the rank. But there's another team that's facing a lot of difficulties, and that is 8-Bit out here. Not really having the best day out. Even NoNx, if you talk about them, not really having one of the good days too. Again on that struggling end, 4 TR. They need to do something to bring themselves back up.
Honestly speaking though, they still have got the foundation set up, so that's a good thing. And they do not really need a lot of massive performances to make a catapult. But for now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded, and a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Now that's a wicked upgrade. TVS Raider iQOO brings segment's first GTT digital cluster with 85 plus connected features, best-in-class torque, and now 9 killer colors. I recommend you guys to move on and check out the TVS Raider. Just look at that beauty. It looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it?
I 100% agree. We've always seen as well Robin sitting up on this bike over towards the end of the show as well. Looks pretty cool out there, and I must say that people must check it out. But now, that we're said and done about this, right? We'll be moving on to the map of Miramar again in the exact same groups that are playing right now, Group B and Group C. It's another map where we normally say Somraj he's basically got the edge, or it's some other team who'd eventually show up. Maybe yesterday Team Origins performance was pretty good. Even SprayGod himself was answering back on a very solid note from Global Esports, right? And we've been talking, if Global Esports get the center, if they are the ones who've got to defend, then every single team they can try and barge onto the door, but they'll not be able to get that entry. If that happens, I'm pretty sure that they can propel themselves back up as well in the top 4.
Look, I know 8-Bit's playing to qualify. I know 8-Bit's playing for the long game, not really showcasing a lot of their strategies in the 4v4 fights. But one thing is for sure, 8-Bit, they definitely do need to amp up that aggression. And something that you guys need to amp up is the performance from your device. And maybe you guys can get your hands on the OnePlus 13R. That can help you get a better performance, get a boost inside of BGMI as well, because that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is something that's going to help you quite a bit in your smooth gameplay.
A lot of FPS out here and a perfect battery life for a long-lasting gaming session. That's exactly what you need. Right now, all the players as well, they're focusing themselves down back into this game because the deserty land is going to burn a lot of energy.
Exactly, the plane's going to be in the skies once again in the deserty lands, this time starting all the way from Puerto Paraiso towards the opposite side, which will be Oasis. And this plane fly path, it might just catch a few teams off guard. Unless someone wants to go towards Chumacera, Valle del Mar, La Trilliera, Monte de Obo, they will be the areas that will be quite tough to reach. I'm also speaking of OG. They like to go in that vicinity.
How many times did you practice La Trilliera to say it very correctly in the very first attempt on the stream?
I feel like my tongue's quite flexible. I'm gifted with that.
Not quite sure if I wanted to know that, but yes, OG is going to be the team who are going to face a lot of struggles out there. Chumacera is not really the place that is close by, but a few teams would want to drop in towards Los Leones, maybe somewhere around San Martin, Hacienda del Petron. They're going to have a fine time too. But here's the thing, last time we saw Godlike being hunted down by the likes of Genesis, but they're not really focusing on them right now. It's actually God's Reign probably being hunted down in the Puerto Paraiso, and that too by Global Esports.
God's Reign, they've got the bounty atop of their head, so it makes a lot of sense too, right? You would want to claim that bounty. Global Esports is also there. You're also seeing Genesis Esports in the nearby vicinity. One thing is for sure, the moment we see this battle commence, there will be Genesis Esports one to third party and claim those remaining scraps. Phoenix Esports once again under heavy fire. And it feels like now Phoenix Esports are being treated like free points on the map, which is quite a bad thing.
Exactly what I was about to say. Maybe that's what they're focusing on right now, but on the other end as well, it's Godlike who are taking fight against Mad Kings. The foes becoming the worst nightmare right now for the gods. That's one thing you'd really not want to see. Back on the map of Erangel is where Godlike won against them, and then on the map of Sanhok, Mad Kings absolutely, utterly destroyed them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Apollo was the only man towards Godlike's replication. The rest of the teammates, they're not even close. We've got another drop clash towards Picado, and even a drop clash happening towards Hacienda del Patron. A lot of drop clashes this time around. K9 Esports is also one of those that have found themselves in the pickle, and Marcos Gaming, a team that's currently sitting inside of the top 6. Marcos Gaming, their firefight capabilities have been insane. They end up winning the fights, especially when the odds are against them.
Slug?
At this point in time, Slug's going to be the X factor that K9 Esports really wanted to activate. But this time around, Slug gets shut down too. K9 Esports in a big wall of trouble. Now they've only got 3 men standing. Marcos Gaming on the verge of winning this fight. Even a one-man down can give a massive advantage to the opposing team because that's going to be confidence boost and the aura buff.
The big thing is, do they really have the rifles to try and take these fights? A DBS for Marcos Gaming, yes. They've got the UMP, S12K as well. I think so they're pretty solid onto that though. It's Ninja Boy who can also answer back. A couple of pump shotguns coming in as BST tries to make his own move too. Not really quite sure if Marcos would really want to make this bounce, right? If they want to try and move a bit more up out there. Phoenix and Global Esports, they were the ones who were locking horn, but that's the third party coming in from Genesis as well. They've always decided to try and jump around all of these areas to try and get some extra points. Manya getting a big pick onto Goten. But look at the HP. Troy almost down. He's going to heal himself back up along with Veron too, but not quite sure if that's enough.
Global Esports, 3 players next to each other. Genesis Esports now having the advantage inside of the fight. There's still Manya in the back, but he cannot even indulge. He can't even be a part of this chaos. I told you a while ago, Genesis Esports was there like vultures, dropping around that vicinity once again. And they just wanted this fight to commence, and the moment it commenced, Genesis Esports made a pounce. And Genesis is now just waiting for someone to step outside of the cover and make a massive mistake. In Global Esports, that's what they're exactly doing. Spray God, the man's on the move. Global Esports, the guts on these boys. Moving out in the open like that on the staircase. And they actually somehow do find the advantage spot now. Genesis Esports might have just put themselves in the pickle that they would not really want to be in. Marcos Gaming, 4 players intact. K9 Esports playing for complete defense. Offense is going to be tough for K9 now. They need to play for the defense no matter what.
But is their defense just as good as the member of Global Esports? Almost look impenetrable. Yesterday as well, on this very map of Miramar, we did see some engagement happening between both of these teams, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and Slug was able to create that off angle, if you remember, on top of the roof.
Yeah, but eventually it was still Marcos Gaming to come out on top and win that one right now. Naughty falls the first one as well. It's a perfect crossfire spray down. They didn't lose a single man in that one.
They walked into a spring trap straight up. And Marcos Gaming, within a blink of an eye, the entirety of that squad just got absolutely evaporated and obliterated from this game. TWOB, even they start to make their move now. K9 Esports under heavy fire from all the different angles. A lot of teams, they've got their eyes set up on K9. And K9 just wants to get the recovery right behind the door. There is one of the players from K9 Esports, and even he will be knocked out. K9 Esports round the corner. They wanted to play for a big brain game, but it's too late now. They just don't have enough member. Ninja Boy, he wants to make the escape. He wants to run away from this spot. Ninja Boy creating those off angles, but in the end, he gets caught off guard himself. And TWOB, a clean sweep against K9.
Mad Kings are also out in the vicinity as well, but not quite sure if they would really want to make this bounce on TWOB. Considering not a single man is down on the knees, everyone is pretty healthy, apart from Pukar. There's a nade being cooked up by Clutch God, or rather Shadow. If you can try and find a knock, maybe that's something that would eventually help. But on the very other end, on the very other fray, it's Godsrain who are now entering this fight as well for the third party. So Genesis would need to end this as quickly as possible. But there's Veron and an off angle, and he could be a big problem.
Genesis Esports on the move. Has 12K in the hands of Yesh. Ollie spamming on the stairs, hoping to find the connection. At least Genesis Esports, they've got the man advantage in that fight. And look at the elimination feed, God's Reign. They're ripping apart the players of Global Esports too. What's going on there? Global Esports Destroy is able to find another knock on Yesh with the help of that Molotov.
Wow.
Global Esports, they're still somehow keeping themselves in this race. Oh no, risky move. Troy, he might just be caught, but Zap instead, he's taking a lot of damage upon himself. He's got the pump shotgun to work with. Zap backs away, pops that first aid. This reset's going to be essential for Genesis Esports and their survival. There's a lot more other teams in the nearby vicinity as well, so Genesis Esports, they need to wrap this fight up as soon as possible. No one knows what's going on in the surrounding lines. Hunter's the man's just waiting for the right moment to pounce. He does not know exactly where Global Esports is playing.
Oh!
And this nade actually finds a lot of value. And Genesis Esports, just on the back of that one nade and zap, they end up winning the fight against Global Esports.
That's a big one as well, because none of the members are now knocked down and they will be able to loot in the crates too. So if God's Reign decide to pounce, they're going to be facing a lot of struggles. But they're not really looking for the bounce, they're looking for the exits. Just got the high grounds out here. And when Genesis will decide to go in for the rotation, that's when we'll see the firing squad fire those shots. It's going to be interesting to see how Genesis will decide to make their way back into the circle. The best pathing is going to be from the southern highway all the way towards Minas del Valle and then moving all down from the south.
Oh, Mad Kings and Godlike can actually lock horns once again. There's a big chance, a massive possibility of that happening. Luckily enough for 8-Bit, the zone's in their court. They can literally reposition right now, play for as much control as possible, and no one's going to be able to do anything about it.
At this point, it doesn't even matter. My focus is entirely on the fights that are happening either in the blue or outside of the circle. I think so, though, for 8-Bit, if you really talk about it, this could really be one of the...
Oh, a trifecta.
Game. Yeah, exactly. That's the main
There's
thing.
4 TR. There's 2 more teams right next to him.
They've been there since the starting of the game. We haven't really
But I believe.
We haven't really seen any fight break out there. Now it's going to, obviously, once the blue strikes, But yeah, before that, nothing happened. And the entire stage 2 is already starting. The Blue's going to make its move in the next 8 seconds as well. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you really get all those points now. It would have been pretty good had it been a bit more early. I'm more interested in seeing what Genesis were able, they were trying to do, but Zap's been claimed, so it's absolutely fine. No point in talking about it.
Mad Kings still looking to thread the needle. Shadow. Somehow Mad Kings messed up. TWOB with the advantage now. This nade's going to find the right spot. And that's what happens. Right next to Mac, it blows up. Mad Kings, now that's even Steven's situation, what they were looking for. TWOB. Advantage might just slip away from the Molotov. It's not the best possible placement. But this is the moment Mad Kings were supposed to make the pounce.
Just not doing that.
Or maybe Mad Kings just back away. If you do not really want to go for the fight, just back away. Or maybe they do not even have any escape options available. If you do not have an escape option available, why would you go for a third party in the first place?
I have no clue about what their decision-making is at this point. I'd have rather wanted to see them take the fight in the first stage itself right now, but finally breaking out on the other side, Praise God and Sensei constantly firing the shots again in Revenant X-Park, picking apart the members of NoNx. Maybe this nade could eventually find a value which we were looking for, and it absolutely will.
Perfectly cooked. Trace is the chef. And Revenant X-Park is the dish that they've cooked up. And just like that, the opponents, they've been demolished. They're still anonymous with the anonymous angle, but now he's anonymous, actually.
Oblivious, to be honest.
He's in the darkness somewhere in the corner.
Forgotten by everyone.
Oh?
Nice
Shadow. Still wants to find the angle. Oh no, but he gets knocked out from the smoke. What happened? Mad Kings. Things could have been better. But they still messed up big time. And why was Sam so much in the back? He should have provided some sort of cover. He should have been up close to help his teammate. Mad Kings, this disconnect. Oh man, they're standing true to their name.
I'm pretty sure Sam was sitting in the back lanes ordering the Swiggy burger for himself because it's only of 99 rupees. A man is hungry, man.
Yeah, sometimes priorities matter.
Not really for the finishers, but for actual food.
I mean, look, Mad Kings are already doing pretty good in the overall standings, right? One game slipped past. Fine, they've already got the foundation set up, 93 points, one decent game. And that's going to help them cross that 100 points marker too, so it's all good for Mad Kings.
Fair.
Fine.
So
okay. 4TR, they've got different thing on their platter now. And they've got the man gets chipped up and knocked out in the end. NINZA, they really do take it up close and personal. Morty right underneath that ridge, tossing out the util. And that's going to chip out the damage a bit. But it's not enough to get the knock. Beard Baba gets back inside of that house. Morty still keeping his position anonymous for not for too long. As Reaper, he rips him apart as well. And NINZA, now they've got the massive advantage inside of the fight. And 4TR just can't do anything.
Big one as well. Instantly catching that one and then moving back in the covers. Playing it pretty smart out there. TWOB, even though they came out of that fight in San Martin with a victory, they haven't really hopped in unscathed. Still facing a bit of struggles out there. Down from the southeastern edge is where my focus is going to lie. Because Godstrain are going to be pushing in from that very angle. They're going to be trying to make that bounce in. And by the way, if anyone wants to watch a specific cam for the top 4 teams, then they absolutely can. OG Soul, Godlike, all of them are there. Don't miss out on that opportunity right now as TWOB will claim the life of Sam. Mad Kings taking an early exit, probably their order arrived as well.
Yeah. Down and out, that's what they are. And I like this TWOB. Taking the fights and actually winning them too. This is the TWB that was missing. They had the fire in them. They were taking those fights, but TWB, the conversion wasn't too good. But this time around, they have been playing extremely well. God's Reign, Deathstroke. Oh, the man was cornered, and he could not do anything in that scenario. OG, they claimed that elimination point, and they keep on moving on.
Did they claim the bounty, though? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
They've got 2 finishes right now. Had it been 4, I think so they would have claimed the bounty, so...
I mean, God's Reign, the last time we saw them, they were all the way down towards Puerto Paraiso, third partying, if you remember.
Yeah, but they did not lose anyone there. By the time they were making the entry from the southeastern edge, they had all 4 players. I'm pretty sure I think it's Genesis who eventually picked 1 player up, because they've got 7 finishes in their back pocket.
Never know. Something would have definitely happened, though.
Yeah,
I don't think they were able to claim the bounty. I don't think.
They tried to make a mad dash in, eventually got fired from multiple directions, and then OG just picked up the scraps. Still pretty decent, to be honest, if you think about it.
But something that's extraordinary is Google Play Protect. Keep your apps and data safe. So I'd recommend you guys to check it out. How safe? Well, look, man. I think you definitely need it.
I already have it.
Nice. Good. It's going to save you quite a bit. Legit on the screen. The impact player of Soul. Soul's performance so far, it's been pretty good. They've been firing on all cylinders. They've been getting those good placements too in the game. Soul's having a great balance of aggression and passiveness too. And that's been helping Soul maintain that top 4 finish. Currently on the 2nd spot, a bit too far away from OG, but fine. OG's been playing on a completely different league, so you cannot even try to match that.
I mean, you can try. Matching that is a very different thing. And this is, again, not one of their best performances as well.
But I'm pretty sure a lot of these teams do not even want to give their best in the league stage.
I agree. And I'm pretty sure that's also one of the big reasons why OG is testing a lot of things out right now.
Imagine if they're not really at their best.
Yeah, they are not. We both know that. We have seen what they look when they're at their best.
Will be. And I'm pretty sure OG in the grand finals, they're once again going to repeat the same pattern. On day 1, get a humongous lead. On day 2, try to maintain that lead. And on day 3, just claim the trophy.
Or rather just make such a nasty lead that you pick up the trophy on day 1 itself while the rest of the teams are fighting to take the 2nd spot.
Yeah.
It's just technically happening here as well. Once the OGs were in the bounty, then they've not let go of that 1st place.
And the crazy part is no one's got the guts to actually go and target them.
They can't. They just can't at this point. With the performance that AK is giving, WizGod is giving, Atanki as well now popping up in the finished feed. Aru has already been in the top 5. Good luck trying to fire against a firing squad. It's like the Navy SEALs up against you.
8-bit. This team's performance, it's being delivered bit by bit. And that's a problem. They need a massive chunk of points. It hurts to see 8-bit play like this.
iQOO would agree.
I understand. A lot of people might say they're not doing too bad in the overall standings. They're still doing pretty decent. Yeah, but is decent really what you expect from a banner like 8-bit?
Nope.
They should be outstanding. With the achievements that this banner has, they should be dominating this lobby. And just look at this lineup too. Even if Equinox is subbed out, they've still got a solid player.
It's more about the confidence now, I believe. They've been lacking a lot of it, and his power has been kept quiet for quite some time now. That is a bit of a problem that's coming in as of now, but one thing for sure is that they can eventually gatekeep Soul. I still need a confirmation as to who got their 1 player. I believe it was 8-bit probably, because they've been around them for quite a while now, but if they still decide to take the fight against the members of 8-bit, then that's going to be a bit of a problem coming in, because Godlike is on the other side, but they still make this mad dash.
Oh no, OG. Even there, it's out of the mix. But now as we look at Soul, that's where the real problem lies. 8-Bit, they're still somehow ripping through the Player's Assault, but they're also taking damage from the sidelines. It's not a fight 8-Bit would want to find themselves in a bad spot in, but 8-Bit they already have. Raiden's taken down pretty low. You've got Legit now moving up close, but even Legit's taken down extremely low from the sidelines. It's godlike, constantly attacking both of these teams. All 8-Bit wanted to do was play defense, but they messed up over there too. And somehow Seoul, they found the crack. But now because of Hero Extreme, godlike in the back, being the Overwatchers, not a lot can be done. 8-Bit's final two men, the final two pillars standing, Raiden and Equinox. And as Seoul, they decide to now play this passive. Hero Extreme, godlike, they're just going to be on the horizon constantly, poking and taking that chip damage.
The big thing is that no one gets to claim the bounty out there. And a lot of damage has been inflicted already. So only a couple of teams who I'd say have got a chance to get this big chicken dinner right now. One of them is NINZA, second one is OG. REVENANT X-Park as well, because now they're occupying a bit of that eastern off-center positions. 4TR, Genesis, they're locking horns against each other. They don't really have the members out there. So they can try and maybe ruin the game of one or the other team, but I'm pretty sure OG would know about them.
I'm pretty sure Genesis is going to be taking a fight against 4TR. That's definitely going to happen.
It is happening.
But one of the players from Genesis Esports has actually taken heavy beating upon himself. Needs to be back upon his feet. Tall and strong. Goblin's going to have no escape from that spot. He's trapped up in that building. Being stuck in such an awkward spot, not the best thing.
How is he even going to survive is the big question at this point. I do like the positioning that Punk has. He can eventually call in for his boys and they can gatekeep the members of 8-Bit as well as Seoul. But it's NINZA who they need to be worried about. And bounce onto them whenever they want. So it's going to be a bit big out there, but Goblin can he try and make this mad clutch? He's definitely got the Bugatti up. Eventually try and make a mad dash though, but as soon as he goes out, it's Raiden to shut him off in an instant.
Should have known.
Should have known. Eliminating Seoul.
But even 8-Bit's now trapped. Not a lot of ways they can get out of that spot either. Hero Extreme godlike, yes, they're the Overwatchers, but even they need to move now. It's not the best possible spot to be in. And luckily enough for Hero Extreme godlike, there's ample space where they can stretch. But as long as you've got teams like REVENANT X-Park, OG still live and cooking in the game, and Hero Extreme godlike, a bounty team, there's still a possibility for anyone else to make a comeback. Now imagine NINZA, they're not doing too hot in the overall standings. On the 18th spot, on the second page, barely hanging on, barely latching on. And if NINZA eliminates the entirety of Hero Extreme godlike, that can be a massive bounty claim. And that can be a big catapult too in the overall standings.
For that to happen right now, Jonathan needs to be brought back up on his feet as gods keep him in the car. And they still want to try and make this mad dash inside the circle. It's going to be big right now as the shots are still being fired. They will eventually survive as they are back in the dip, so it is safe.
It's all good.
It's going to be fine for him as of now. And now Orangutan are eventually trying to stop the members of 8-Bit to move in. Raiden has always been the kryptonite of OG throughout the map of Miramar, throughout the BGMS series. And he's still alive. He's still cooking. Can he cook one more time?
8-Bit Raiden. The man's out in the open. I don't think he can do a lot.
Hit markers.
Raiden's getting softened up, chipped up as well. I'm pretty sure soon the man's going to run out of resources. He's not going to have enough meds, neither utilities nor smokes. This position's already compromised. Everyone knows there's someone behind that vehicle. That smoke is like a marker. At this point in time for OG, they know this game can be theirs as long as they played methodically and systematically. The only teams possibly in their way are NINZA and Hero Extreme Godlike, and even Revenant X Spark. These three teams, that can be a major problem. Genesis Esports, 4TR, busy duking it out against each other since the start. And this fight finally commences. Z-God takes a lot of damage from that well-placed nade. Backs away, tosses out a smoke to get himself patched up, but the problem is, he does not have anything to patch himself up, and he gets knocked out. Hunter's making heroic entry and eliminating the remaining two players of 4TR.
Hunter and Gravity working in unison, taking them down. It's a big play coming in, but here we go. There's the bounce of OG finally trying to decide to take these two members as well with them. Aru's got the nade! And what a trade coming in! Hunter still standing strong! Confirms AK! OG are falling! OG are faltering! And Aru still trying to save the day for his team as he needs to land in this nade. But can it bounce at the right place? No, it does not! That's another finish being claimed. What a big mistake, and it's Hunter's. He can clutch a 1v4. He can claim the bounty for his team. All he needs to do is land in this one. Nice shot.
Toss to C4 to block the staircase now, Hunters. He wants to go for a game-breaking play. He wants to break the opponents. Gets a few more utilities in his hands, and these nades are going to help him claim the fight too. Good flashbang from the opponents. It's going to blind Hunters for a bit. But still, the amount of utilities Hunters has now gotten, that can actually be the difference maker. Another flashbang tossed out. Hunters is constantly tossing the utilities to keep the opponents off at bay. But this nade from the opponents will do a lot of damage, but even Hunters, he finds a crucial knock. He peeks out in the open when he did not have a lot of HP. Should not have done that. This fight could have been delayed for a bit longer, but OG, they messed up big. There was a chance for OG to claim the game, but this one fight, a 2v4, messed up big time against Genesis. It's going to cost OG their confidence and the game.
I'm just going to say that it is Hunters and his confidence shining brightly. Up and over on Cloud9 right now that you cannot try and take him down. He stands up onto his name. And now OG will try and make a mad dash as well to try and survive by getting on the southern edge of this entire cliff where over towards the eastern is where Revenant X Spark is. And on the other side, right on the northwest is where Godlike and NINZA are fighting a bounty to be claimed up. And NINZA really want to try and do this. But it's fierce to find the first knock onto Hermanos, so he can definitely try and steal a few away.
NINZA on the move, and keep this thing in mind. Hero Extreme Godlike, they've got a bounty on top of their skulls. Another man falls down. NINZA, they might actually claim this bounty. There's a big possibility of that happening. But there's also Revenant X Spark in the back line, so Hero Extreme Godlike, they need to be a bit more careful. Revivals were being stuck, but NINZA, a constant chip damage is stopping those revivals from coming through. And now finally they decide to back up, but Revenant X Spark, they're the one to pull in close. And there's a big chance now Revenant X Spark will actually claim the bounty! 3 players down from Revenant X Spark, 1 more remain! And that's the difference in claiming the bounty and topping the charts! Revenant X Spark, Punk is wall shut down, another nade tossed up towards that direction. Hero Extreme Godlike taking their final breaths. As Admino, the only string that's keeping Hero Extreme Godlike in this game. But if NINZA pushes up and claims the final finish, the bounty will be denied. And that's what the intentions are. But NINZA, they're also getting banged up from the back. It's not a good spot. They're too exposed. Those smokes are providing them the cover. But Hero Extreme Godlike, they actually do get the reset. The Fallen Man's back up.
Yeah, because the big thing is, Revenant X Spark are thinking that maybe one of the players of NINZA is actually a player of Godlike, so they do not have an idea as to where Punk was. But finally now they see Punk, Admino both firing their own shots. Punk knocked down on the knees, and it's Admino who's got to make a mad dash off runaway. But this bounty needs to be claimed by Revenant X Spark. NINZA can hop in to go for the steal as the nade flies in. They try to go in for that one, but this shotgun needs to be perfect as Fierce will finish him off.
That's bounty.
Admino taken down, and it's a bounty being claimed by Revenant X Spark, but NINZA can now claim their lives.
Revenant X Spark, they do not even need to win the game now. They've already done the heavy lifting. But if they do end up winning the game, it will be the icing on top of the cake that they're looking for. But OG's still alive. This 2-man squad, They're pretty much like an army, and that's what OG's doing, fighting back strong against NINZA. But NINZA, they've got too many men standing, and they're overwhelming the likes of OG. But still, the tables are flipped. NINZA, they've messed up. How can you mess up a fight that you're supposed to have the advantage in? But Revenant X-Park, here comes the third party, and no one's going to be able to stop Revenant X-Park now. Final two men standing from the opposing team.
Flank.
And these two players, they can still create the difference. It's taken down to a 2v2. NINZA still somehow in the game.
Any nade that is going to be big right now. Beard Baba finds a knock as well. Traces finds the answer. He's got no boosters up. And the HP is absolutely down in the drain. No first aid, so he's got to use the bandages. That's going to be a big indicator. Reaper can get the revival up. No major utilities to blow them apart.
Trace, he's got no proper meds. He's only got bandages that he's using to patch himself up in this duel. Trace God will lose it, but they still have gotten a nuclear performance in their bag. Revenant X-Park was able to claim the bounty on top of the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. Yeah, NINZA did get the chicken dinner, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be more points than Revenant X-Park.
I mean, with the way how Fierce was performing as well, considering that he's the impact player, yeah, they're going to be absolutely happy about it. But yes, some choice discussion going in with Fierce and the rest of the boys. See, this could have been their game as well. Yeah. Down to the last 2v2, they had the positional advantage, had the height advantage. This should have been theirs. But it was Beard Baba to answer back, finding the first one, and then that nade that eventually got traced down to such a low HP.
Could have been the icing on the top of the cake they were searching for. Could have been a chicken dinner, and could have been the bounty claim at the same time. But Revenant X-Park still getting the top two. That's more than enough in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure in the match rankings too, they're going to be at the top. Looking at the final few moments, yeah, I mean, NINZA, they almost lost that fight against OG. But let's move on to the stage for a quick interview.
पहले मैच में देखा, who would have thought के दूसरे मैच में भी it'll be a deja vu, an encore, a replay. Congratulations, कमाल का मैच जीता आपने. But just looking at, जैसे फिनिक्स ने बोला ना अंदर कास्टिंग में, भाई खिचड़ी पक रही थी वहां पे, क्योंकि 4 टीमें जिनमें 3 जो हैं वो फैन फेवरेट्स हैं, एक बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है, OG, Godlike, Revenant, X-Park. Were you giving yourself every chance to win the chicken dinner?
Yep, for sure, because we actually struggled quite a lot in these past few matches. So we gave it our all. We wanted to get the chicken dinner.
भाई सच बता रहा हूँ, जब हम कमेंट्स पढ़ रहे होते तो वहाँ पे जो OG के लिए सपोर्ट आ रहा था, Godlike के लिए सपोर्ट आ रहा था, it looked like one of them could win it क्योंकि उनके प्लेयर्स भी ज़्यादा एक्टिव थे. उस सिचुएशन में क्या बात चल रही होती है? How do you strategize at that point in time?
We were like, this is our match, we don't have to throw this. So we didn't care who was against us. We just wanted to get the chicken dinner, and we did.
Listen, जब ऐसी जीत मिलती है, when you defeated the kind of teams that I've just spoken about, आपका confidence, what does it do to that?
Actually, we've been practicing against them for a long time, so this is a very big confidence boost, and I'm hoping to get more kills in the next, get more finishes in the next few matches.
Bro, सिर्फ एक लाइन बोल सकता हूँ. You have slayed the beast, man. Congratulations to Meta Ninja. What a fabulous victory is दूसरे match में. Unbelievable. Take a break. Come back.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded, and a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Pause for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test, proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Humble beginning हमेशा नहीं था स्टार यूसी लेने से पहले सोचता था 100 बार डर था बड़ा स्कैम्स का डाउट से हजार तो प्ले ओपी आया तो लगा ही नहीं पर तो मैंने लिया यूसी सेव गेम किया रेस प्ले मेरे साथ यहाँ ड्रॉप्स एकदम हार्ड प्ले तेरे साथ ओपी तू भी कर ले स्टार्ट
The Meta Ninjas finally finding what they were looking for after a long time, and the lost performance might just be back. And this is the Meta Ninjas we all are searching for, right? Especially knowing that there's someone who likes to be in the top 5 in every single game. Yeah, that consistency was lost for a while, but now that they're back, it's great to see. But something that you guys would want to have on your phone is also the Google Play Protect. Make sure you're installing that app so it keeps your apps and data safe from all the malwares and all the bad stuff out there.
I mean, just like how NINZA eventually kept their chicken dinner safe as well from all the attempts from REVENANT, X-Park and OG, right? I wanted to point this out quite a while ago that OG is one of the team that constantly annoys Meta NINZA. They are facing a lot of struggle against them, but this time around, winning the fight and getting the chicken dinner, also winning it against REVENANT, X-Park, that was a big thing.
Genesis Esports' Hunters will be the man to be the MVP of that previous game with 6 finishes racked up. Genesis Esports, as usual, once again, the firepower has been immaculate. They were also almost able to win the fight against OG, but unfortunately in the end, yeah, Hunters did not really have a lot of HP to actually sustain that fight against OG, and he got picked off himself. We've got Fury there too from REVENANT, X-Park getting 4 rescues, and then another man coming in from Meta NINZA, Reaper, with 5 finishes racked up. Of course, it was a massive game for Meta NINZA, but let's not forget that bounty being claimed by REVENANT, X-Park. Now that's going to be the difference maker in the match rankings.
And considering Fierce was also the one who got quite a few finishes for REVENANT, X-Park, yes, that's the impact players, so they're going to be happy. Just like how Reaper, again, 5 finishes, 10 points at least at the bare minimum. Not quite sure if they took any early engagements out there in the power play or not. I'm pretty sure there were not any. So it's absolutely fine. But yeah, this one moment, Aru eventually saving the day for his team. Almost a clutch coming in for the side of Hunters as well. That could have been big, but Beard Baba, man, with the way how this dude was playing, not just against OG, but also against RNTX, finding that first opener, that is what paved the way for Meta NINZA to win this chicken dinner.
And this might be the game where Meta NINZA might just be back, right? This is the Meta NINZA that we all wanted to see. They always like to be in the top 5. And I told you, REVENANT, X-Park, it's a 30-plus bomb. 33 points in that game, 17 finishes, 6 placement points. Yeah, even though they did not really win that chicken dinner, but they still got that bounty, and that's one of the main reasons why RNTX now has a lot of points in match rankings. You've got Meta NINZA right there with 25 points as well, but not too far back from Genesis. Even Genesis is tied up with 25 points. That is insane.
23 just for the finished points is absolutely mind-blowing as well. Yes, some disappointments down over towards the other end of the leaderboard. But here's my first question, right? I think so. I'll get the confirmation for this one. Maybe 33 is the highest total a team has received right now. Last time, I believe it was OG with 31-point bomber where they claimed the bounty as well for the team. But we'll have to get a check on that. But on that massive 25 performance game, Genesis are now in the top 4.
And just a few points separating them from actually teams like Seoul and Hero Extreme Godlike as well. Another decent performance can actually propel them in the top 2 as well. So Genesis Esports, yes, they have been a freak of nature, a force of nature to be reckoned with. And honestly speaking, even Revenant X Park, if they keep on playing the same way, we might just see them overtake OG at some time.
It could be very, very possible, but they've got to bring in this similar performance, right? Any team from the 3rd to 5th can eventually try and take OG, but RNTX do not have the next 2 games. So that's going to be the big thing, right? Godlike will play in still, Genesis will play in. So 2 teams who've got the bounty, but majorly the rotation is going to be between the last 2 spots itself. So, you know, the privilege of having 4 bounty teams in the first 2 games, that has been lost.
And if you look at the second page as well, I mean, understandable, yeah, the usual suspects are over there too, but we cannot really blame the fact that they're over there. They still have to play today's game, so we might see fluctuations over there as well.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, for teams like 4TR, for teams like Phoenix Esports, this should have been the moment where they actually make the comeback, they make the bounce back in the overall standings.
True.
But still, they're in the bottom 2. It's unacceptable. It's quite tough to believe. You've also got teams like TWOB still sitting there, 8-bit on the last page. It's unbelievable.
I mean, there's also True Rippers out there down as well.
They haven't played so far, though, so we can't let
they
them go.
will now. They will. So that's going to be the big thing. I'm really expecting them to pull their socks up as well for the map of Sanhok and Erangel.
I'm pretty sure they probably will, right? And especially knowing the fact that True Rippers, it is one of those experienced lineup led by Jelly. This man has got so much experience. We know True Rippers, at the end of the day, they will do pretty much better. And once again, if you guys want to recommend or if you guys want to check out something new, that will be the Duolingo English test, accepted over 6,000 plus universities. I would recommend you guys to go ahead and check that test out.
Absolutely, and if in case you get that result posted online and maybe tag us so that we can help you out as well with that. But here's the big thing right now. There's a lot of things that I want to see from K9 Esports as well, and I think so we've got a piece lined up for us, right? So why not just throw it over there so you can have a look as well.
Shot 1, take 1.
ओमेगा, आपकी टीम लुक्स शार्प, पर आप ट्रॉफी तक नहीं पहुंच पा रहे हैं. क्या गलत हो रहा है?
मैं तो यही कहना चाहूँगा कि इट्स अ प्रोसेस, स्लो प्रोसेस. हम डेली मैचेस में नए मेटा के हिसाब से चीज़ें सीख रहे हैं और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में टाइम लग रहा है. तो धीरे धीरे जब ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तब हम लोग पीक पे आ जाएंगे.
सीजन 4 में क्या हम कुछ अलग एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं आपसे?
हाँ ना, बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट है प्लेयर्स, क्योंकि उनको मोस्टली आइडिया आ गया है कि हमारा गेम प्लान क्या रहने वाला है.
अगर आपको एक मौका मिले आपका अपना एक ट्रांसफर रोकने का, रीराइट करने का, तो आप क्या बदलेंगे?
यार मैं ऐसे सोचता नहीं हूँ, मतलब कि मेरे लिए ऐसा होता है कि आई मूव फॉरवर्ड. मतलब जो भी हुआ अच्छे के लिए हुआ है, कुछ ना कुछ बेटर ही हुआ है, तो मैं से वापस पीछे नहीं जाता.
अगर आप एक डिसीजन को क्रॉस आउट कर सके और उस मोमेंट को रीबिल्ड कर सके, तो वो कौन सा मोमेंट होगा ओमेगा?
एक बार जब मैं एलएस में था तो अक्षत को मैंने दूसरी टीम में भेज दिया था और फिर मैं उस ऑफिशियल से बाहर हो गया था. तो आई थिंक मैं अक्षत को वापस लेके आऊंगा.
ओमेगा, आपको ज्यादा प्रेशर किस चीज का फील होता है? ऑडियंस की एक्सपेक्टेशन का या अपने ही स्टैंडर्ड्स पे फेल होने का?
ऑडियंस का प्रेशर तो देखो रहा नहीं है. मतलब स्टार्टिंग से गेम खेल रहे हैं तो अच्छा ही लगता है जब ऐसे आवाजें आती है, एक प्लेयर मारा, आवाज आई, वो कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट मिलता है. जो नए नए प्लेयर्स हैं उनको थोड़ा प्रेशर फील होता होगा, और वैसे ऐसा कुछ डर है नहीं. पता ही है कि मेहनत करते रहेंगे तो अपने आप कामयाब हो जाएंगे. तो मैं ऐसे सेकंड थॉट्स नहीं लेता, नेगेटिव चीज की साइड में जाता ही नहीं. पॉजिटिव सोचो, अपने आप हो जाएगा.
जिस लाइनअप ने आपको फेमस बनाया वो तो अब गायब सा ही हो गया है. आपको कभी उनकी मेमोरीज आती है या वो लाइनअप के साथ वापस खेलने के बारे में सोचा है?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. मतलब अच्छी यादें हैं नो डाउट, बट जो बुरी यादें हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा बुरी है और मैं उनको वापस से नहीं जीना चाहूंगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. अगर मैं पास में जा भी पाऊं तो मैं वो चेंज कर दूंगा 100%.
प्रेजेंट में ऐसा क्या अच्छा चल रहा है जो पास्ट आपको इतना चुभ जाता है?
पास्ट मेरे को चुभता नहीं है, बस मैं ऐसा बात करना पसंद नहीं है मुझे. मतलब मैं उन चीजों को इतना इंपॉर्टेंस देता ही नहीं हूँ अपनी लाइफ में. प्रेजेंट पे फोकस करो. मेरी टीम है, बहुत अच्छी है, काइंड ऑफ जैसी मेरे को टीम चाहिए थी, जिनको मैं अच्छे तरीके से मोल्ड कर सकूं, जिस तरीके से मेरे को खिलाना है, और ये सारे मेरी बात भी सुनते हैं. तो ये चीज आई थिंक मेरे को बहुत पहले कर लेनी चाहिए थी, बट इट्स ओके.
आपके पुराने खिलाड़ी अक्षत और अब नए खिलाड़ी स्लग के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
स्लग और अक्षत तो बहुत डिफरेंट है, मतलब बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट है, बट इनका कुछ नेचर ऐसा है जो सिमिलर है और जो मुझे पसंद है. बट अब अक्षत तो है नहीं, वो अपने घर के कामों में बिजी हो गया है, तो उसको मिस तो करूंगा मैं. बट हाँ, एक छोटा भाई है मेरे पास अभी, एक नहीं 3 है।
हमें वो 4 नाम बता दीजिए जो मास्टर सीरीज में है पर उन्हें चैलेंजर सीरीज में होना चाहिए था।
कई सारी टीम्स हैं, मतलब आई थिंक वो टीम डिजर्व नहीं करती है। लोअर राउंड में कई टीम्स ऐसी हैं जो इधर की साइड होने डिजर्व करती हैं। नाम तो मैं क्या ही लूँगा यार अब, बट एक दो नाम मेरे को याद है, जैसे कि TWOB है एंड मतलब जो क्राइटेरिया मैच नहीं हो रहा है, मैड किंग्स नहीं और गए, ना पॉइंट टेबल्स है ना कुछ और, तो ऐसे कई चीज़ें हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच ओमेगा, वी ऑल लव यू, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू।
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every hit on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Within a few moments, Sanhok will be putting up on the screen. And as we know, we've also got a few teams with the bounty on top of their head still continuing their journey in this upcoming game. Teams like Genesis Esports, Hero Extreme, Godlike will now definitely start to feel that pressure. But let's not forget, now Victorious Sumus, Metal Esports, FS Esports, and a few more massive names will be back in the lobby to make sure they're raining down terror.
Of course, Group A and C will be competing for the remaining 2 games of today. And in Group A, we have got the players of FS, Metal. Metal is also one of those teams which has been struggling in the leaderboard. Then we also have got the players of Team Aryan, Necro. And yesterday was a quite decent day for the players of Team Aryan.
Absolutely. I mean, Team Aryan yesterday, that passive, that defensive gameplay, it sort of worked out for the boys. And I hope they continue doing the same thing if that's what they think they're comfortable with. But in my opinion, taking the advantage of the power play, taking the advantage of the impact player, and taking the advantage of the bounty system is also something Team Aryan should do. And as long as they're not going to use those power-ups, we will not see that outstanding performance from Team Aryan.
Well, still, they need to take the advantage, like you said, of the power play and everything else. But even the players of Likitha Esports also need to do the same thing because even they have been struggling in the leaderboard. Metal Esports, speaking about them, we have got Scout, Derby, Aimbot, such an experienced lineup, such aggressive players. And despite that, the approach which they are bringing on the table is not really working in their favor.
And once again, guys, a huge shout out to Google Play Points. Earned rewards on every purchase with Google Play Points. So definitely check that out. But back towards the conversation that we're having. Even True Rippers is now going to be back inside the action. True Rippers, they're not someone that's doing too hot in the overall standings, but luckily enough, they've got the base set up so they can make a bounce back anytime. Metal Esports too, yeah, they're doing pretty okay to themselves, tied up with the players of Victoria Sumus. So Metal Esports, in my opinion, they are pretty much there at the cusp. They pretty much can directly make a leap inside of the top 4 as well if they manage to claim one of the bounties or take a massive advantage in the power play.
And you also mentioned the players of Team VS. I'm sure you remember what happened on the map of Sanhok yesterday.
Yep.
They were the one to claim too many points in the power play itself. If I'm not
16.
wrong, they eliminated 2 squads, right? Yeah, 16 total points in the power play itself.
Probably more, since there was also the impact player.
Yes, but the consistency has been a problem, Necro, because right to the next game in Erangel, they were the first one to be eliminated.
Yeah, that's the problem, right, with Victoria Sumus. In some games, they're just outstanding. In some games, they end up choking those 4v4 fights up, and that's unacceptable. Victoria Sumus, they need to bring in that consistent spree. And moving on towards Global Esports as well, today's day haven't been that great for them either. Global Esports, yeah, we're seeing mix of emotions from them. The performance is sometimes good, it's sometimes bad. And even Global Esports is another one of those teams that needs to find the consistency. But Shadow, to be honest, this league stage is still pretty long. We've got a lot more games, we've got a lot more days to go. And in those days, we can pretty much see the entirety of overall standing shuffle anytime.
And I think that's exactly what Mayavi also mentioned yesterday when I was talking to him, that we have got too many matches in our hands. So we are not trying for a match where our boundaries are set. We are trying for a natural game style. We are aiming for the winner chicken dinner.
Plane's going to be in the skies now, this time on the rainforests. Starting all the way from Nakam towards the opposite side, which will be Cow. This plane flap pad tilted a little bit to the left side of the map, but still, it's the map of Sanhok. It's not going to be creating a lot of difference.
Agree to that, but my eyes are going to be on those drop clashes. Are we once again going to witness a drop clash of the players of Team VS? Because yesterday they did get too many points in their hands. But speaking about other teams who are also struggling in the overall standings, we have the players of Team 4TR. And remember, they got a chicken dinner, but other than that, the entire team of 4TR has actually been struggling.
They indeed have been. And I guess the prime example of that is being in the bottom 2, my bad. 4TR is currently in the bottom 2, next to Phoenix Esports. If you look at the lineup, 4TR, they have got a decent bit of past glory. In the official tournament, they've qualified to the LAN finals in the BGIS. So we expect a lot more, especially from a banner like that. But let's just hope that they're able to recover the amount of points that are needed to be there in the first half of the board. And they start performing pretty well. Global Esports moving out in the open, taking a massive step. And this time putting the opponent in a big trouble. FS Esports have found themselves under heavy fire. And Godex, man's already taken a lot of damage. He's got the DBS to play with, and that DBS might actually help him convert the fight. But Godex, what was that move? He peeked outside. And he got knocked out. Shouldn't have peeked out like that.
I've been mentioning this time and time again that the split drop which FS tends to go in for on the map of Sanhok can actually go against them. And that is exactly what has happened this time, because he was all alone in the compounds of the opponents. But the circle is all the way towards the side of Camp Alpha. We also have got a situation around Paradise Resort where we have Hero Extreme Godlike, also the players of 4TR, even Genesis, a team which has been doing so great in the overall ranking, is also lurking nearby.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams with the bounty on top of their skull. It's Hero Extreme Godlike and Genesis Esports in this game, and these 2 teams, I'm pretty sure they will be targeted quite a bit the moment they see their names pop up in the elimination feed. And if you really talk about the circle as well, it's one of those Camp Alpha circles where K9 Esports will have a massive advantage, and this should be their game technically.
Could be possible. It all depends how the rotations are going to happen, how much information they do have, because yes, I do agree, they have got the entire control of the Camp Alpha, and it could potentially be a Camp Alpha final circle. And K9 can take full advantage of it, but when you have to go for a lesser rotation, you lack the crucial information. Even the players of Team Reckoning Esports are also all the way towards the side of Hearthen. They can also reap benefits of this circle. As compared to yesterday's Erangel, this one is pretty slow. Yesterday's Sanhok, yeah.
8-bit on the move. Even 8-Bit's performance has been lacking. They've got a lot to prove. Still all the way down south towards Camp Charlie. MyG lost Hermanos. Another one of those teams that's been making a lot of impact in the overall standings. And because of them, we're also seeing a lot of fluctuations too. Finally stepping in the action in the final 2 games, and MyG lost Hermanos. They're definitely someone you can count in on. But at this point, making rotation towards the opposite side, that's what they're doing. MyG lost Hermanos. Shadow spotting out the players of FS Esports. 3 players next to each other from FS. Roman, Lovish, Levi. Unfortunately for FS, they lost out on GodX a while ago in that drop clash. It was completely unexpected. And the way Global Esports pushed up and punished him, FS Esports, I'm pretty sure they never saw that coming.
But for now, Genesis and 4TR in kind of a stalemate situation. Just waiting for a great opening. But even we have got MyG and FS in a situation where Levi has been knocked out. Now FS has been reduced to only 2-man army, and they both are in a small shack. A single grenade can mark their end. But seems like the S12K is going to take down Roman as well. The confirmation point has already been made. And FS left with only one single last player.
Yeah, FS on a man deficit. Down to just Lovish. And MyG lost Hermanos, as I mentioned. This is one of those teams that you can always count on. They're quite aggressive. They know how to win their fights. And once again, that's what they do. That too against one of the strongest teams out there. FS Esports. They're currently the victims of MyG lost Hermanos. Finally, Lovish revealing his position. I'm not exactly sure if that was a good decision or not. He should have let the players of MyG lost Hermanos escape, but instead Lovish now finds himself in a bad spot, and MyG lost Hermanos. They claim another elimination point. That's 6 points right there for MyG lost Hermanos.
Exactly, 6 points at the very start of the game, and in the overall ranking also, MyG has been doing pretty decent. They are sitting on the 9th spot, and these 6 points are definitely going to help them propel themselves in the leaderboard. But looking at the circle, so many early rotations are also coming in, especially from the side of Mad Kings. They have all moved all the way towards the side of Camp Alpha, Team Aryan. They have got the southern control of Camp Alpha. Even Hero Extreme Godlike are onto the shorelines. And recently, Necro, we have been witnessing a healthy rivalry between Hero Extreme Godlike and Mad Kings.
But I mean, that rivalry did not really come into fruition today.
Yeah.
So, still believe there's a lot we need to explore. 4TR, a team that's currently in the second last spot of the overall standings against Genesis Esports. And if they do end up winning this fight, that will be bounty claimed and a lot of points in return. Genesis Esports, Zap, the man's cornered, pinned. It's not a good position to be in, but Genesis Esports, they've already found themselves the equalizer that they were looking for. Even Metal Esports now closing up. 4TR, problems. And this is where they need to find a cure to them. Metal Esports also ripping apart the players of Genesis. And I like this third party from Metal Esports. Aimbot is the impact player, and he also gets that elimination in the power play, so that's 4 points right there.
Yeah. But Metal Esports, they need to go for the aggressive stance. They know it is the players of Team Genesis. They can also claim those bounty points, especially when the players of Genesis are wounded. They don't have the numbers. But looking at the circle, it is going to be a crazy one. It's a hybrid circle. It can go either ways. Towards the side of Ruins, or maybe towards the side of Camp Alpha. And recently, since the last 2 days, we have been witnessing those crazy shifts.
Yeah. Curveball shifts, definitely a part of the zone. But there we go. Mad Kings, once again, they start a strike. Metal Esports, they're not done with the fight yet. They're still here to reap the players of 4TR. They want to squeeze out the maximum from this fight. Get as many points as possible. They tossed out against the team in the front. 4TR, quite bruised and battered. That's Morty taken down pretty low. Z-God falls apart as well. Morty in the back. I highly doubt the man can do a lot. And now he's also going to be pounced on by Scout OP soon. Morty's position's compromised in Scout. He's not really taking the measures yet. There's no way he was actually thinking to pan the guy, but it's fine. Metal Esports in the end, they do eliminate Morty. And that's pretty smart from the side of Metal Esports. They let Aimbot claim that elimination point. He's the impact player, so that's going to be double the points right there.
Scout was actually passing the information to Aimbot that the player is over there to get those extra points from the impact player. That was a good move, but 8-Bit also going up against the players of Team Likitha. And Som has been knocked out. Raiden also goes down. What is happening to the players of 8-Bit? This is a power pack lineup. They are struggling in those 4v4 fights and struggling in the overall ranking as well. S-Power trying to provide the backline support, but seems like he can't really do anything. The players bleed to death. Even Likitha Esports is also down to only 2 remaining players. It was an outnumbered fight, which Likitha might win.
It's a massive disconnect between the players. Likitha Esports. These 2 men that they've got. They can definitely be the main difference maker. 8-Bit, the final 2 men. I'm not exactly sure what sort of game plan they're going to try to execute, but True Rippers, they're getting ripped apart. It's Global Esports constantly applying that pressure, and True Rippers now, they know it's heavy damage inflicted against him. It's better to just back away, but Global Esports, they're not going to let go of that grip that easily. Jelly, he tries to fade away, but those shots, they're too hurtful. Jelly somehow escapes the grip of death from Global Esports.
4 finishes racked up by the players of Global Esports, but they need to watch their 6 as the players of Genesis are also trying to traverse inside the circle. But Likitha Esports left with only 1 player as 8-Bit got 1 more confirmation point, but they also need to patch themselves up.
8-Bit's not done yet.
On a very low HP, yes, not yet done. Equinox trying to do something with a grenade.
Oh no, what? The man just blew himself up. Mistakes after mistakes, and 8-Bit, those mistakes can actually cost him a tournament. It's not what you expect. I've been saying this over and over again like a broken record. It's not something that you want 8-Bit to do, and that's what happens over and over again. Raiden, the man short on meds, as power drops him a first aid, and Raiden actually needs to go for the revival as well, but now he's going to loot the death crate first.
Whoa.
And I guess the revival's going to be skipped too. 8-Bit, they need to prioritize the zone first, and that's what they're doing. The final man of 8-Bit, he's going to try to penetrate the circle and stay safe. But a curveball shift from the zone. Now this is what you call the real hybrid zone. You never know where it's going to shift to. Is it going to go towards boot camp? Is it going to go down south towards ruins? Or will it be towards the top left?
The IGLs under heavy pressure. What sort of rotations to pull off at this point? Which areas to hold on to? If it goes to the side of boot camp, Hero Extreme Godlike can definitely reap the benefits of it. If it goes towards ruins, I think Global Esports can take advantage of it. But for now, Phoenix Esports trying to take advantage. Onto the plus of K9 as Omega has been knocked out. Trying to get a confirmation point, and it's not just Omega. Actually, 2 players are down from the side of K9.
Yeah, K9 Esports actually getting stopped in tracks by Phoenix Esports. A team that's not being treated so nice by the lobby. Phoenix Esports, they're currently at the bottom. And Phoenix Esports is definitely someone that's looking to mount a comeback, but how can you? Fights are not going your way. The game's not going your way. Phoenix Esports is also not taking the advantage of the power play system, neither any sort of bonus cards. Godin, the man, is the impact player. And he definitely needs to make a lot of impact happen. And maybe you can make the impact happen as well. With Duolingo English Test, 6,000 plus universities accepted this worldwide. And you guys should go on and take this test as well.
Well, of course. Even I have booked my test, but for now, Metal Esports, I like this new Metal. The one who is not shying away from the fight. They need to get few more finish points if they really want to propel themselves in the overall ranking. But we also have got a situation with the players of Phoenix Esports who have been constantly struggling. Even now also not looking that good, because Team Aryan, Henry, has got a height advantage, and the entire team of Phoenix Esports is on the low ground. He has complete vision.
Oh, no.
Single grenade can do a lot of damage, but Henry is also getting shots from somewhere else. He needs to reposition himself. He needs to survive, because if he gets knocked out, chances of revival and rescue mission are very less.
I like this aggressive Phoenix Esports, but that aggression does not pan out that well. Team Aryan, they've got a nice base setup on top of this hill. They're playing on complete defense, and Phoenix Esports wanted to pull off the offensive move, but this high ground advantage is something that's quite tough to counter. Especially uphill battle for the side of Phoenix Esports. It's better to just give up and find a different way to make it inside of the zone. Phoenix Esports, they've messed up. And Team Aryan, they found a major advantage in that fight. And luckily enough, the next zone's going to be shifting right on top of Mad Kings. This can be their game.
Could possibly be, but Hero Extreme Godlike, look at the rotations which they are trying to pull off. We have already seen Mad Kings and Hero Extreme Godlike go up against each other. This time possibly it can happen once again. Even the players of Team Genesis can try to do a third party, but Medal, they've got the entire northern control of the circle. Even the players of Reckoning are all the way towards the northern side. But Global Esports still towards the Ruins Island. VS going for the late rotation. The play zone playing its part. Is only Jatan remaining from the side of Phoenix Esports, as Owen has been knocked out by the play zone.
He indeed has been. Jatan's now taken a lot of chip damage upon himself. The man's constantly patching himself up. The zone's also taking a lot of damage, and at this point, probably the play zone's going to do its deed, and that's what happens. Jatan is still patching himself up. Yeah, but Metstrat's no longer active in 2025. We all know that. Jatan needs to find a different way. Hero Extreme Godlike. Even they found themselves an okay spot to be it. Currently guarding the edges. There's Reckoning Esports on their side. And that's a potential massive threat that Hero Extreme Godlike is sitting next to. Victorious Sumus! What a way to break through! Team Aryan, one of the men gets drove by. Yeah, the remaining players, it's a firing squad against the players of Victorious Sumus, but they're still not able to catch anyone. And it's still quite a clean rotation for Victorious Sumus as they punch a dent in Team Aryan.
One player already down. Even the players of Hero Extreme Godlike are getting gatekeeped by the players of Reckoning. Trades happening back and forth. A single grenade marks an end towards one of the player of Reckoning Esports, and now Reckoning left with only 3 players. Hero Extreme Godlike going for the rescue mission. A single grenade could have done so much damage, but the connection was missing. Viper once again trying with the grenade to find something, and right on the face of Jonathan. Takes him down. Gods, the entire pressure is upon him because Punk is all the way to the side of boot camp, and Edmino is also far away from his teammates. This is not looking good for Hero Extreme Godlike.
Hero Extreme Godlike Gods going for the revival on towards Jonathan. This revival's going to be there soon. Now scoping in, spotting out Viper. Dionysus two right next to each other. Metal Esports. Oh, they've got different troubles in the name of Victorious Sumus as even Scarf falls down. But Termi and Aimbot, they fight in tandem. Victorious Sumus, though, they're just a bit too strong as even Termi falls down. Always, this man is able to do a lot of damage. Even Metal Esports, yeah, it's a bit back and forth that's going on, but even Mad Kings, they're taking a part in this fight. Victorious Sumus, they're down to just that one man. And even for Metal Esports, it's just Aimbot standing.
Oh, wait, Jonathan, along with Gods, marks an end to the entire team of Reckoning Esports. 3 finishes accumulated. It was such a tight situation for Hero Extreme Godlike, and despite that, Jonathan and Gods, they were knocked out. Despite that, they were able to pull the situation off in their favor. But we also have got Mad Kings. The circle is definitely favoring them heavily. But Metal Esports, VS, they're also trying to breach into their compounds for now. VS Cheyenne going up against the players of Metal Esports. The smoke cover is there to deny vision to Cheyenne. But let's see, can he actually thread the needle and find a connection?
Cheyenne's just spamming through the angles. He wants Aimbot to walk in his crosshair, but that's going to be tough to happen. And Team Aryan from the sideline will claim Cheyenne. That's Victorious Sumus down and out. Not a lot of points claimed for Victorious Sumus in this game, but still completely fine. They've got one more game to go in the future one. But Team Aryan, they've got all the 4 players intact. And now they need to defend against the entirety of Global Esports. Global Esports' defense, it's been impenetrable, but now the offense as well, it needs to be on point. Team Aryan, they currently have a lot on their plate as they're also taking a fight against the entirety of Hero Extreme Godlike. But Team Aryan, they're also losing their members against Global Esports. And now the fight's taken down to a 2v2. Global Esports, this is the right moment to strike. The fight's even Steven. Even Team Aryan's extremely hurt. Devotee's down as well. And Aryan's taking a lot of damage from Manya in the back. The split from Global Esports, it's paying dividends.
Even the split of the players of Team Aryan is not going in their favor. Global Esports can actually try to take the control of the compounds of Team Aryan, but the circle has taken a bit of the northern shift, favoring the players of Hero Extreme Godlike and Mad Kings heavily. But let's see, Edmino keeping a close eye onto Manya and the boys. But they also need to be a bit cautious from the side of Raiden, because 8-bit Raiden has been inside the water since a very long time. He has made it inside the top 6. Let's see for how long can he actually survive.
Yeah, what sort of days 8-bit are now facing? Just imagine a team that lifted a trophy is now playing in the water, trying to avoid all the eyes on top of them. 8-bit, this fall, it's definitely tough to witness. Team Aryan, at this moment, especially for Hero Extreme Godlike. Oh, that's the way to kick things off. Global Esports, they were feeling quite confident on that area. But the moment Hero Extreme Godlike threads a needle, Global Esports' confidence, it will be shattered.
And Edmino was actually checking that angle since a very long time. The moment he saw one of the players of Global Esports out in the open, he strikes at the right moment and got the confirmation point as well. But Global Esports getting sandwiched between the players of Team Aryan and Hero Extreme Godlike. Aryan taking hefty damage from the side of Global Esports. Need to patch himself up. 6 finishes. Team Aryan also looking pretty decent. Okay. But look at Mad Kings. They're pretty silent. But aimbot of Medal is also there. But Jonathan finally spots Raiden. And 8-bit finally has been eliminated on the 6th spot.
Oh my god.
Finishes. And Hero Extreme Godlike ain't stopping.
On paper, this can't be Mad King's game. But the problem is they do not have enough men to hold down that cover. That compound, it can be taken over by Hero Extreme Godlike any moment. Global Esports on the side with 3 men standing. Team Aryan as well in the back with not a lot of manpower. Metal Esports just with 1 man aimbot. And Mad Kings with 2. Hero Extreme Godlike on paper has the most advantage, especially when you talk about the man advantage. But Hero Extreme Godlike, they straight up ram up against the entirety of Mad Kings. And this time, Mad King's defense, it's on point. They actually do make sure that Hero Extreme Godlike will pay the price for what they're doing. And another man falls down. Somehow Polo, he's making sure that Hero Extreme Godlike will break apart in front of them. And Hero Extreme Godlike, they've messed up big time. The final 2 men from Hero Extreme Godlike, from which one of them gets evaporated. Now Hero Extreme Godlike just left with Punk. That move, it was good, but the execution was still lacking.
Apollo defended that compound with tooth and nail, dealing with the entire team of Hero Extreme Godlike.
It's their game.
For sure, no doubt. But what Apollo pulled off in that situation was not an easy job. Taking down 3 players of Hero Extreme Godlike wasn't easy at all. Few mistakes from Hero Extreme Godlike as well. But now Global Esports, PreyGod has to make a mad dash inside the circle. Middle aimbot made it inside top 3, still surviving, still breathing. Can he survive till the top 2? That's the main question, because PreyGod is out in the open and aimbot finally, PreyGod has spotted him down. He's aware about the position of aimbot. This is not looking good, but the blue is also going to give a lot of damage to PreyGod right now.
Aimbot behind the wall. Position compromised. The man spotted out as well. Metal Esports. Aimbot, the amount of elimination point this man's able to accumulate, that's quite a bit. And that's one of the main reasons why Metal Esports as well, they might just have a humongous game loading. Mad King's Clutch God's position. Notice this nade, it needs to be on the point. And if it does find the point, Clutch God will fall apart. That spray got down and out from Global Esports. This time no clutches from this man. But another nade from Aimbot's definitely going to find the success that he was searching for. Mad Kings, now they need to move out in the open. Aimbot, can he clutch it? It was a 1-on-2, but now it's taken down to 1v1. Aimbot's heroics, they need a reply, they need an answer. This nade, everything is booked up, and finally, it's being tossed at the right point. The impact player makes the most amount of impact from Metal Esports, and he saved the day with a chicken dinner.
And if I'm not wrong, more than 5, I guess 7 finishes has been accumulated by Aimbot. First, he dealt with the players of Mad Kings, taking down one player, and after that, the grenade was able to take down the second player as well. It looked like it was going to be a game for the players of Mad Kings, but he underestimated Aimbot. Finally, Metal Esports has broken up. This aggressive Metal Esports is what we want to witness.
With this performance, Metal Esports is probably going to directly propel themselves or catapult themselves in the top 8. With the amount of caliber, with the amount of firepower this team possesses, this lineup has a lot of potential. And you would want to see them perform the same way every single time. In the past, the 3 players were under the banner of Phoenix Esports, and they were called as the gangsters of BGMI. And once again, the gangsters reign supreme. Metal Esports, with this performance, they will be in an extremely comfortable spot in the overall standings, and all thanks to the impact player Aimbot. This impact, it's definitely being felt by the entire lobby, and soon when the overall standing pop up, we all will feel it too. But for now, let's move on to a short break. We'll be right back.
We're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day for OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Just when we thought Mad Kings would eventually take the throne, it was Aimbot from middle to steal it all away and send it back to his team. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OnePlus Android BGMI Master Series Season 4. I'm going to be scared. Alongside me, Shadow back again. That Sanhok was absolutely mind-blowing, right? Just like the OnePlus 13R, which you can get very quickly because it's got the Snapdragon Generation 8, or rather Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 processor and a humongous battery life for a long gaming session. Now, since we've been having a long gaming session. Sanhok, Shadow, my goodness. What a way for Aimbot to win that duel.
And Aimbot is the same player who was a part of Velocity Gaming, and back in 2022, he was able to finish on the second or the third spot in Season 2. Yes, and Aimbot now with Metal Esports proving himself. He was the impact player, getting the maximum finishes, converting that 1v2 situation. When everything was going up against the players of Metal Esports, they show a comeback with such a dominating performance.
I 100% agree. And you know, in the way of making that entire thing happen, I think so that one last strangler that was remaining, right, all the way towards the southeastern edge, that one duel which Apollo was trying to take, right, where he got low, that was the crucial turning point. That was the opening that Aimbot needed, because then he landed in a nade and he was able to divide that entire 2v1 into a 1v1 technically, and he was able to win that fight. So I would still say it was a pretty nice conversion coming in from him. But where does that put Medal up in the rankings?
Definitely, they have propelled themselves in the overall leaderboard. I doubt if they are on the first page, but look at the MVP. It is going to be Aimbot himself, the guy we have been appreciating so much. 7 finishes, 70% finish contribution, and also the point that he was so silent when Mad Kings were going up against the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. That was the moment he stayed hidden. He was so silent. But looking at the stars of the match, going all out is Aimbot.
Yeah.
But Gods from the side of Hero Extreme Godlike is going to be the best companion with 2 rescues and 2 assists.
I mean, I'd still have to say, Godlike had a very nice opportunity to try and steal that compound away from Mad Kings as well. But their slam was highly disconnected is what I would say, right? A couple of players going in, yee-hawing their own way onto the horse. Yeah, I absolutely love that. But then a couple of players just staying back as well, not really being able to provide that proper cover. We'll have a look at that again as we watch the OnePlus never settle moments as well. This nade was absolutely pretty fine, you know, bouncing it off and Raiden getting picked off there. But this was the moment I was talking about.
One of the main reason Apollo was able to pull off such a brave move was because Edwino was all the way towards the southern side, the other players of Global Esports, Punk was all the way towards boot camp. It was only 2 players from the side of Hero Extreme Godlike. It was not an entire team.
Yeah.
Later on, eventually Punk was also taken down by Mad Kings, and Apollo had so much to do in that particular situation. And later on, Aimbot with a grenade was able to take down Apollo, and it was a blast 1v1.
He didn't even let, you know, the last player see his dead coming. He just bounced that nade off instantly. I still have that question as to why he did not realize the sound of the pen being pulled out from that nade, but it's absolutely fine. Having a look at the match rankings right now, Medal topping the charts, 29 points overall in total, but Mad Kings not really that far behind, just 3-point short.
Yeah, 10 finish points and 6 position points, total 26 points. Hero Extreme Godlike, they were super aggressive. They were a force to reckon with in the map of 10 of 12. Total finish points, 16 total points. Global Esports, they also staged a comeback in this particular one, but few disappointments were also there in the name of Recting, True Purse, FS, Likitha Esports. Let's talk about Likitha Esports. Their struggle has been continuous.
It just seems like they can't really find their own footing right now in the BGMS scene, right? Whether they should go for the aggressive play or whether they should probably play a bit more slow. There were a couple of days in between where they eventually found themselves in a pretty solid groove, where they were trying to, you know, get some of those aggressive fights as well. They were getting third-partied, but at least they were getting the eliminations. So I think so they should pull themselves back up there. But having a look at the overall standings right now, Hero Extreme Godlike, 1 game to spare, 23 points behind OG. Can they topple them?
Highly possible. It is still possible, but in Meta, NINZA also sitting on the 13th spot with 104 points. Mad Kings on 12th with 119 points. K9 Esports, this team is actually struggling because they have got the finishes, but placement points are a major problem. They are a major problem for the players of Phoenix Esports as well. But TWOB, I want to talk about them. 35 finish points and only 4 position points. Survival is a big problem for the players of TWOB also.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem out there for them right now, but this is the main thing, right? They're not really playing it right now. They were playing it before, so they've got enough time to order themselves some Swiggy burgers, ladies and gentlemen. We can easily scan the QR code and get ourselves a burger with just ₹99 without any delivery cost. So that's the best thing. I really hope they added some extra fries out there, but it's absolutely fine, Shadow. You know what? Burger is something people are getting. They really love that. I'm the only unique person out of here, so it's absolutely fine. You can order that as well. But since we've been talking about TWOB, yes, certain struggles on their way. Phoenix Esports, the exact same scenario, exact same ideology. Likitha Esports, Reckoning, all of these teams have to pull their socks up. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give them enough time for that as well. So let's push it down to break. On the other side, Erangel.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join Google Play Points, the loyalty program that offers you exciting benefits. Now earn points on every purchase. Play more. Level up to gold and platinum. And unlock exclusive rewards.
Celebrate every second you are alive. Life has no rule books, but we can give you a stage.
With all the energy spent out there right now, the teams will have to bring the every ounce of last bit of breath they've left to try and pull through this land of Erangel for one last time on day number 6 of BGMS Season 4. Now, since they are spending their energy out there, and I know Shadow is a very heavy spender as well, ladies and gentlemen, you also make sure to spend out all of, savings that you basically got so that you can get a lot of rewards out there for the Google Play points as well. Get all of those points, or rather get all of those rewards on every single purchase with Google Play points. Now, that is something, Shadow, I'm pretty sure I'm going to suggest you to use that as well. I'll tell you, don't worry about it. It's fine. I know there are some things you struggle with, just like how Middle is currently struggling. Or rather, Middle actually made their comeback, right? But 8-bit are still struggling.
Yeah, finally Metal has started showcasing the signs of aggression, signs of life in the leaderboard as well. But 8-bit, their struggle is still continuing on the map of Sanhok. Raiden was the only man surviving. He was inside the water. That is why he was able to get few position points, but nothing more than that. 8-bit also needs to stage a comeback.
It's going to be a big thing right now because this is their last opportunity on day number 6 to bring themselves back up, ladies and gentlemen. We saw Somraj hyping up the boys right now, and why should he not? Because the plane flight path is definitely something that you would want to be hyped up with. It's going all the way from Georgopol towards Yasnaya Poliana, right above Lipovka. It's the similar plane flight path that we saw actually in the game number 1, right? But at that time, we were not having Group A teams. We were having Group B and C. Right now, it's A and C.
If you notice, Scared, flight path has not been a problem. Since last 2 days, the circle, the curveball shifts have been a problem for all the teams. Be it the map of Sanhok or Erangel, we are witnessing those crazy hard shifts coming in. Sometimes a hybrid circle as well, but this time we have few changes as well, as Hero Extreme Godlike are going for a drop clash. With Zarki, 3 teams actually are moving in that direction.
Godlike is basically positioning themselves for a third party, considering That's MyG, Los Hermanos and True Rippers will be facing off each other in Zarki itself. While they're going in for that drop, looking at the other ends of that spectrum to K9 going towards Severny. So they can as well join in this action if in case this is a prolonged battle. So you'll have to worry about that as well. While the rest of the members go in elsewhere, it's True Rippers right now. And MyG, Los Hermanos is not the team you would want to take that fight. We just talked about it, and Spy is the man who finds an opener, not just one but rather two. Who says you need to be an impact player to get 2 points? You can just eliminate 2 players as well to get both of them, as now they will start to hunt where the rest of the members are.
True Rippers actually struggling a lot, and Hydra has also been eliminated, all thanks to Kalan. The confirmation point has been made, so that means True Rippers is left with only one last player remaining. And you were mentioning about Hero Extreme God like trying to do a third party. What I think is actually they are trying to protect their bounty. That is why there is a change in the drop location. But Mad King's also going up against the players of FS. A cat and mouse chase is happening as FS is trying to scuttle back to the safety. But the terrain around Ruins is not an easy one to drive and scuttle back or escape from such a situation. But thankfully, FS made it to the safety. But Medal Esports, I love this new medal. They're going for those fights, going for the aggression in the power play itself. Tommy gets 1 finish point. So that means 2 finish points. 1 finish, 2 points converted. A good head start.
There's also Phoenix over there as well, but we'll talk about that in a second as 4TR want to hunt down Godlike. Admin falls down on this feed as Punk decides to run back to safety, and the chase by Morty is down. A monster driving the monster truck, chasing another monster. There's quite a lot of monsters out there, but they want to try and take all of them instantly as Jonathan finds a beautiful knock with a scar, red dot. This man is indeed a beast, and the punishment is absolutely divine. You can't face them whatsoever right now, but Owen from Phoenix got a couple of players up in front of him, bruised up. Yes, that is true, but it's still 2. A 1-for-1 coming in with a knock on Flock, but now Javin has got to hold down his ground. There's still Phoenix remaining. They're moving down in one after the other. I really want to see all of them moving together, but Javin, how much more can he do? He's got no helmet and a level 1 vest. Not a lot of bullets, and now neither the HP and off angle created through the stairs from the window. As Javin now tries to run back to safety as Flock gets taken down by Chatin. There's nothing that's left with this guy apart from a mid kit. 1 more second for him to stand back up. As Viper provides the cover.
Viper trying to provide all the backline support to Javin, but Phoenix Esports this time seems like this fight is going to go in their favor. But they have to make sure they don't overcome it. They don't come out in the open, considering the position where Viper is at this point. But finally, Javin with that Uzi trying to get something, and he doesn't have the proper armor as well. That's the main problem. On the other side, Team True Rippers, Jelly, last player has also been picked off, and True Rippers has been eliminated on the 16th spot. But Esports, they are also trying to do something with a jump shot. Javin gets 1, gets traded off instantly. Phoenix Esports still trying to deal with the last player, Viper, the only hope remaining from the side of Reckoning. Even they have been struggling in the overall ranking, but we also have got 8-bit going up against Mad Kings, and seems like Mad Kings are the one falling down like a pack of dominoes this time.
It's going to be a bit more difficult for them to try and handle this as the fire eventually is controlled here. Phoenix losing 1 member, rather 2 out in the mix. Bit of a problem coming in, but Som on the other side for 8-bit is going to sit down and give the revival up. Also got the cover coming in from Aqua. Hold on, S-Power. He gets knocked out elsewhere. That's problem. That is trouble, as this is a third party coming in. It's going to be pretty difficult as Likitha Esports, the team you mentioned, now are finally on the aggressive end. They want to try and capture the rest of the members. Aqua still strong, holding it all down for the team. But for how long can he hold is the big question as they get deleted. XOXO will shut them down. Mad Kings taken care of as well in the same time. That's 15th and 14th team that we've received out so very quickly. We're probably going to reach the tally of 13 as well, as Genesis now decide to eat the pie as well. Phoenix in trouble, in problems as the nade parade go in. A bit of damage coming in. He's still trying to hold it strong, still trying to stay alive. Just 1 member remaining from Phoenix and Reckoning. Chit goes in for the shots as well, lands into. Couldn't really get the third one, otherwise that would have been impeccable. But Genesis will bring themselves back up on their feet.
But Viper is still there and they're just in compound. Are the players of Genesis Esports aware about that? That's the main question. Because according to them, whoever was there in the compound, the entire team has been eliminated. And this surprise factor can actually work in the favor of Viper. But I want to shed some light onto the players of 8-bit. For a second, it looked like this can be a comeback game. 6 points in the power play. But the moment when they were wounded, they were hurt, Likitha Esports decides to strike and eliminate the entirety of 8-bit. Once again, a bad start for 8-bit. They need to focus on the survival. But looking at the players of OnePlus K9, around the mention, it's not just one but 3 teams in that area. And K9 can actually go up against the players of Team Genesis who have got bounty on their heads.
I was really thinking that maybe it's going to come to fruition as well, right? But Genesis decided to back off at the very same time. Still around the same place though. And this is a mad rotation coming in from them, to be honest. All the way started from Severny. Right now they're still trying to hunt the players down. The chase is going to go in. Slug, figure out where the rest of the members are. The circle is still going to play on the edge of prison all the way towards Lipovka. We'll have to see how they eventually survive. Scramblers are the ones who are out there. Zap! Twisted from the vehicle as Beast shuts him down. Instant retaliation coming in, Genesis. Look at Gravity. He went out of the vehicle only to be destroyed as Beast goes in for a mad push. 3 players from Genesis shut down in an instant. And the chase is on for Hunters as well. Hunters is being hunted. He needs to run away as well. But Slug, this Slug is not slow at all. This one moves fast. But are you faster than a Lamborghini is the big question. Aventador up in front of our screens as it races away, speeds away. The big question is, how much fuel does he have left and where is he actually going? He's basically taking the members of OnePlus all the way towards Global Esports. That's a big thing because even from the southern fray, FS have decided to try and bite a bit of that pie away. That's so much chaos happening right now, and Slug has been given one duty: hunt this man down.
But can he actually do that?
Oh!
Seems like the Hunter is going to get haunted as Hunters is going to pan down Slug and protect the bounty which Genesis had. 3 players have been eliminated, but those 10 extra bounty points are not given away at all. But K9, they've got bigger worries as they have got the players of Team FS also in the close proximity. Then Viper is also moving all the way towards Shelter. But the circle has taken a western shift.
Omega.
Rozak being in the epicenter of the circle. Omega still trying to hunt down the last player of Team Genesis. He has a vague idea that he can somewhere be around the Shelter. Could also possibly be in the cave of Shelter. And K9, they're adamant on getting that 10 extra bounty point.
I like it. I absolutely like it. Yes, Slug fell down. It's absolutely cool. Ninja Boy gets 2 finishes there. Omega has 1 already. They've got 3 players standing up. This is the best chance for them to try and claim this bounty. No one is close to them. If Hunter makes even a slightest bit of move, which he is making, yeah, they've got an idea of where he actually is, but you can't make a mad dash through the staircase. You have to move from 2 to 3 different directions. The nade is going to be up there, so it's going to send down a smoke as well to try and survive. The TPP advantage is with Hunters, which is going to be taken down away right now. Good discipline coming in, but there are more than one ways to hop in this cave. Ninja Boy will patch himself up. But I like the idea from Hunters, moving a little bit more back. But where is Omega?
And the fact that Hunters has got quite a bit of the grenades and he's so precise and accurate with that utility usage. We have seen in the past, this guy is capable of eliminating the entire squad just by the util usage. And Hunters is doing that once again. Not just 1, but 2 players down from the side of K9. This guy is unstoppable. He still has got 1 more nade and 2 Molotovs. Can he eliminate the entirety of OnePlus K9? That's the main question.
Highly
he has
possible.
to protect the bounty, and yes, chip damage, and yes, he pulls off double move, a 1v3, a 1v4. An entire team of K9 has been eliminated by just a single lad. Hunters.
You can't hunt him down. He stands up to the name. 10 points already gifted to Genesis. A mad run out there, which is a highlight play. You want to note it down, man. The salutes going in for this guy. And the 21 shots being fired for the men who fell. What a play. And FS have learnt a lesson out of the mistake of K9 that we ain't fighting over this one. Regardless of what happens, yeah, we're out of here. Not gonna happen on our bots. Look at this phenomenal nade, right? They went in with the vehicle so that they can try and dodge maybe some of that utility, maybe if there was a Molotov or per se. But the dude had a frag. Oh my goodness.
You know, the lesson learned is don't mess with hunters.
Leave him be.
Don't go for those bounty points on Genesis, because if Hunters has got those grenades, has those Molotovs, he can eliminate the entirety of a team. But for now, we also have got a situation between James and Henry. What were you doing, man?
Just trying to, do his own things out there. Henry, there's been quite a lot of times when we've seen Henry do, such type of shenanigan plays out there, and eventually that costs Aryan. The cover fire is there, but that's not exactly from the members of Team Aryan. Scout from middle. Seeing his name pop up in the finish feed after a while.
I'm sure I've seen his name quite a few times in the past.
That past being a few days ago, but alright. Still a bit of an open ground. Pray God, he had an opportunity, but he just decided not to pull the trigger. That's discipline. Considering his teammates are a bit far away to provide any kind of real supportive utility. Wasn't back. Maybe could have grabbed in one finish point, or maybe I suppose some problems for 40 yards. Absolutely fine right now. Still gonna try and survive for a while. 40 yard. Surrounded by the members of Team Aryan.
I still can't get over what Hunters pulled off against OnePlus K9.
No one can.
And of course the reactions after that.
K9 will have nightmares.
For many days, I'm sure.
As long as BGMS Season 4 is going on.
Nah, I'm sure they're going to get their revenge. Because that's what Master Series is all about, killing who's revenge. But for now, we also have the players of Likitha Esports trying to pepper down few bullets towards the rotating team of VS. And Smoker was out in the open. What were you thinking, man? It's the entire squad of VS. They could have charged in towards you, but look at the circle. We have got a hybrid circle, and if it goes all the way towards the northern side, then we only have Hero Extreme Gothic all the way towards the northern island. Could possibly be a chicken dinner for them.
Could very well be, and it's also a team that's got a bounty on top of their heads. Every other team's been taken care of. Genesis only got Hunters remaining, and the team that could have put a bounty on him. Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on. Wait, bro. Like just get someone only watching Hunters at this point, because he is winning fight everywhere. Destroys are in an instant, off camera out, but he's creating highlight moments for himself out here in BGMS Season 4, bro.
For sure he is. And he's also the impact player of the team. That means few extra points, double points for every single finish. But for now, we have got the players of Metal Esports. And VS also over there. And Likitha Esports getting sandwiched between both these teams. Aimbot with a grenade trying to find some connection. Likitha Esports, they need to be very cautious because Metal is running high on the confidence. They have got the momentum rolling in their favor because they recently got a winner chicken dinner. But even the players of 4TR are also in the close proximity.
OG are going to be glad that they are not playing this game, because look at the number of teams in Rozhok. It's an absolute light show that we normally have during the opening ceremony. 7 finishes for Genesis already, dude. Like 12 points by Hunters for the team. And that is considering he had nothing during the power play, which I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm sure he did.
So he's already putting the tally up over towards, or at least around 15 points for them. It's just insane. The next close team is Global Esports. And the only thing that can actually help them cross that 20-point distance that's being created is if they eventually get the frags on the impact player right now. Hunter is going to be chased down by 4TR as well. They need to be wary about it. He still pulls a 1v1. INF finally takes care of him. And Reckoning gets eliminated. If he would have converted this 1v2 as well, man, I would have just left everything. Finally, they've been taken care of.
Genesis finally has been eliminated. It was a 1v2 situation. If Hunters had pulled off that 1v2 also, I think a new record would have been set. But for now,
probably.
Middle Esports Scout on our screens, trying to get some information. And the entire cluster is around Rozak. But we also have got one of the player of Global Esports, Troy, on the northern island, just in case if the circle takes a northern shift. Then FS, Hero Extreme Godlike, MyG, they're going to be pretty happy. But the moment of truth is going to be in front of our eyes very soon. And here's the thing, Hero Extreme Godlike is very much aware about the position of MyG. The only reason they are not trying to do something is because they are waiting for the circle, and the circle is still a hybrid circle. I have a very strong feeling it is going to be a northern circle, northern final circle.
Now that you've called for it, which team do you think will actually get the win?
Hero Extreme Godlike for sure.
That means they're going to struggle out here, ladies and gentlemen, because we know what Shadow's been pulling on the desk these days. But right now it's going to be MyG Los Hermanos facing all of those bullets. Gods was also able to take down one of the members out in the open, so this could be a very needed fight for Godlike to take against this team. FS in the meantime, during all this commotion, have made their way into the circle right now. Holy smokes! What kind of hero play is that? Jonathan needs to win this fight, and he will as well. Instantly converts that finish for his team as he is the impact player. He's going to try and pull some of his own Nate shenanigans. Sees the molly, sends it out, knows where the player is, and gets the confirmation on Evil. Just needs to take care of one more player. Spy out in the open. Another molly lands perfectly, but he was able to heal himself back up as the shots were fired. But it's Devotee to get that knock coming in as two players of Godlike fall themselves. It's Punk and Admino remaining. That is a big blow coming in as FS land into the mix for the third party, and they claim those finishes.
Suddenly the tables have turned. Hero Extreme Godlike, who are looking so very strong, and now on the verge of elimination. A third party in the name of FS was completely unexpected. The Global Esports, even they have got their own troubles as Biron was trying to barge into the compounds of 4TR. Still knock should be an easy confirmation as well. 5 finishes, even 4TR was trying to stage a comeback. Seems like this is the day of comeback for so many teams. Earlier it was Medal, and now 4TR going for the aggressive approach. But Global Esports, they are still struggling because Manya is so far away from Veron. There is no chance of a rescue mission coming in. But Manya is also all by himself, the only man standing from the side of Global Esports. And in fact, he's in the close proximity to the entire squad of VS.
Not quite sure of what he could eventually pull from there apart from just ruining their game. But the big question out here is, can FS claim the bounty on Godlike?
I don't think so, because the kind of rotation which they are trying to pull off, they're traversing all the way from the eastern side, where else I believe Hero Extreme Godlike, they're going to come in from the western side.
Interesting decision though coming in. I'm pretty sure maybe Team RN was able to steal one finish away, and that's why FS is deciding not to pursue the bounty because it's not activated anymore. But if they were the ones to get 2 of those finishes, then that means they know which team they are targeting, rather which team they are fighting, because that shows up. And considering Gods was also knocked, and they themselves finished up 2 of the players, that means they can eventually try and find where the last strangler is, or now since Punk revived Gods, so where the last 2 players are. I think so Bounty should have been the priority for them, but it's absolutely fine. It's still going to be another hybrid circle, but it's majorly shifting towards the southern and southwestern end. So the teams who are in the Rozhok, specifically Aryan and also Medal, will have a nice time trying to gatekeep 4TR. Look at the Esports as 4TR are now trying to make a mad dash. Not quite sure if this is a good decision, because Scout is going to be firing a few more shots out there. Now there are a couple of players who are going in directly towards the bridge where Punk is. So they can try and take the fight right now. Just under the bridge on the arch is where Punk is playing. He's got the TPP as well. See Z-God has a few more shots, but that's just not enough now. He's brought down low, but look at where Gods is. He's swimming towards the side of 4TR.
Not a good position. Instant knock coming on to Gods. And now Punk is the only savior remaining from the side of Hero Extreme. God, like not too much space to work around with. Yes, he did manage to dish out a lot of damage towards the side of 4TR, especially one player. But Manya has also been eliminated by Devotee of Team Aryan. And Medal is also locking horns with the players of Team VS towards the southern side of the circle. And it's still a hybrid circle. The BGMI gods are keeping the IGLs on their toes till the stage 6 circle. Punk's still alive,
4TR,
still breathing. And yes, 4TR, 3 players, 7 finishes. Still alive inside the water. And Medal, they do have a good decent compound towards Rozhok. A barrage of grenades and a few molotovs towards Smoker. But Smoker refuses to bow down. He's a lucky man.
You could call it luck, or you could just call him his skills at this point. There's a small wall out there. Starboy gets a knock onto Venom as well with that utility, but that's just not enough for you to push up. Still in a disadvantage, so you need one more knock at the very bare minimum. Sends out an 8 out there, did not really help him. It's a 1v1 with him in front of aimbot. He goes upstairs. Got empty rooms out there. Player was actually downstairs, and that's quite a Looney Tunes move we are seeing happen. But it's fine. It's going to be stalled down for a few more seconds as aimbot launches another nade. It gets a knock onto Smoker, and that's a big thing. Because now we've only got one more strangler remaining from Likitha Esports, who will fall. Aimbot gets the confirmation along with Venom. Just the utilities doing the work. And right before we switched on to this fight, even Godlike fell down. 4TR swam on the other side. Exactly what Gods was trying to pull onto them. They used the same Uno reverse card onto their face, but Thunder now coming back on the screen. Gets a confirmation on aimbot. Instant finish through the smoke as well. The senses are absolutely thunderous.
Yes, in Medal, they have got the entire southern control of the circle, whereas FS, one of the players, Levi, is all the way towards the northern island, where 2 players are towards the side of Rozhok. Can actually VS pull off this chicken dinner, because they have got so much information, but the connection was missing from the side of Thunder. But Venom is going to be precise with a grenade. Thunder bows down, trying to get the confirmation with a follow-up grenade. Venom trying to take things up close personally. He needs to be a bit cautious. He's the only player at this point. He needs the backline support, and 4TR is also in the close proximity. There could possibly be a third party. And I'm sure Venom do realize that. That's the reason he backed off and tried to reposition with his teammates. 4TR is still a lingering threat for the players of Medal Esports.
It's going to be a big one right now, looking at the circle shift moving over towards the eastern end. So, yes, 4TR are going to be super happy now, considering they eliminated Godlike right under that bridge. FS, they've got a couple of players all the way down on the Rozhok Island as well. Gods and Roman, they will be holding their ground down. Levi up and ready. If I'm correct, they don't really have their impact player remaining. And 4TR, Z-God's been taken down by Gods. That's a big pick coming in for FS, because this gives them the circle control right now. And Medal, Victor Sumus and Team Aryan, they're going to be fighting in a trifecta of death. And if they don't make their way quickly into the zone, yeah, they're going to be picked off by the blue itself. Team Aryan being in the best position currently, because they've got the cover of the compound, or rather the warehouses out there. So they'll be having some time to play around with, and they've also got the high ground. That's going to be big. And Scout can try and find some big openers out there as VS currently caught in a pinch. A bit of a trouble coming in for their side as a return knock onto one of the member of RN will eventually help them find the breathing room, but these utilities are going to be crucial.
Of course, they are going to be really important as Roman with a nade gets a connection onto one of the player of 40 yard. Still trying to do something against VS. The low ridge. A little bit of the cover is still helping the players of Metal, but Termini needs to patch himself up as Venom trying to dish out a damage. Can he get one player down? But seems like no. Metal Esports, they have been eliminated. 2 players down from the side of VS. They need to reset as soon as possible. But Aryan do realize that at this point, VS, they are wounded, they are hurt. This is a moment to strike as Oves is still trying to ask for rescuation. The help is there, but so is the blue.
Such a low HP right now for Thunder. Lucky that he's surviving out with just the skin of his teeth. Mafia giving the revive to Oves. The shotty on the face is a second too late. Revival completed. 3 players in front. And VS will save their lives. What a survival coming in. And what a way to save themselves out there when the game can eventually be turned as 40R is trying to do the exact same thing. 2 players low with the HP as they move, show their wrath. They are the ones who want to take revenge and destroy the Roman and his empire as FS will take an exit as well. Now it's 40R versus VS, and 40R, they lack the members but they've got the circle.
2 players only. They don't have enough real estate. The entire circle control is with the players of Team VS. 40R Pain is live with a grenade trying to get some connection. VS, they don't have any idea where exactly the players of 40R are exactly. But now they know it was so close. VS, one of the players could have been taken down. Oves, he needs to patch himself up. In fact, 2 players, Mafia and Oves, they both are very low HP. And a grenade from the side of God can mark an end for Mafia. Thankfully enough, he repositions at the right nick of the time.
All 3 players right now are playing together, so that's going to be big. The utilities are pretty hefty in the hands of 40R. It's going to be crucial. VS, as they move together, a pack of 3 like hyenas want to hunt down the individual members. 3v2 coming into the play as well. It all settles down right here, right now. The blue will make its move, Shadow, and VS will be pushed up first, or rather, considering the position that they've taken, it will be 40R who will be forced to make a move. So these utils need to be on point.
But that's the problem. So much being invested from the side of 40R, but the connection is still missing. This can be a good one from Oves.
Oh!
And finally on the face of Mafia, Pain is live, takes him down, try to get the confirmation point, aggressing towards the entire team of VS. Can he get the confirmation point? Thunder is going to answer back, trying to answer back, gets a counter knock onto Pain is live. This 1v1 duel is going to be super important, and it will go in the favor of VS. They were struggling in the leaderboard, but finally they showed some signs yesterday, and now they are dominating by getting this winner chicken dinner in the last Erangel of the day.
Pulling themselves back up from the brink of defeat, Victor as Sumus rises up on top just like their name. Standing up like absolute heroes. 40R performed phenomenally well as well, I'd have to say. Pushing through such a scenario, fighting against Godlike, then taking the wrath of FS while everyone else was taking care of each other. Surviving through all of that and then moving in even though they were disadvantaged. That one big knock was absolutely nice.
For sure, this was the day of comebacks. First it was Metal Esports, even in the last 3 teams, they were the ones who were struggling.
After all of those struggles, they finally pulled themselves back up. 40R almost making this comeback, but it's Victor Sumus who will finally stand up in the rain for the interview.
ये जो लुक दे रहे हैं ये गेम फेस लुक है, क्योंकि अब पता है कि जीत गए हैं, अब कैमरा इनके ऊपर आ गया। इसके पहले जो लुक दे रहे थे कि भाई बच गए, बाल बाल बच। ओवैस क्या हो रहा था वहाँ लास्ट वाले बैटल में?
लास्ट वाले बैटल में ये था 3v2 था और माफे पे नेड आ गया तो 2v2 हो गया। तो हम लोग का ऐसा प्लानिंग था कि निकल के मारेगा, ये करेगा वो करेगा, बट थंडर ने अच्छा क्लच किया, मतलब 1v2 किया, क्योंकि मैं भी नॉक हो गया था। बट मैंने लास्ट वाले को मतलब थोड़ा गोली मारा तो 1 HP था, फिर थंडर ने भी मार दिया।
भाई इस BGMS सीजन 4 की खासियत ये है कि अगर आज का दिन आपका नहीं है, कल का दिन आपका हो सकता है। माफी ये सही है बोलना, क्योंकि अब आप क्लच किंग बन गए हैं, लेकिन मे बी दैट कंसिस्टेंसी इज बैक टुडे।
यस, ये चिकन हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी था, क्योंकि बहुत दिन से हमारे गेम कन्वर्ट नहीं हो रहे थे, हम बहुत क्लोज आ रहे थे। पर अब इससे आगे भी करेंगे कि ये चिकन से आगे भी आगे की गेम भी अच्छी जाए।
माफिया जो कह रहा है अब क्या फ्लो आ चुका है, क्योंकि अब चिकन मिल चुका है।
अरे सीन ऐसा हो गया कि हम लोग 4 बार सेकंड आ गए, हम लोग चिकन कन्वर्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहे। मतलब 4 मैन रहते हैं, स्ट्रांग रहते हैं, अच्छी पोजी रहती है। कल अनफॉर्चुनेट 1-4 भी हो गए हम लोग एक प्लेयर से, तो हम लोग बहुत सैड थे। हम लोग को ये चिकन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, क्योंकि हमको एक चिकन तो चाहिए ही था जिससे हमारा मोमेंटम बिल्ड हो।
वो एक चिकन इनको चाहिए था, वो एक चिकन उनको मिल चुका है। विक्टोरियस सुमस, विक्टोरियस इन द फाइनल गेम ऑफ BGMS सीजन 4 ऑन दिस सैटरडे। एक ब्रेक लेंगे और बातें जारी रहेंगी ऑन द अदर साइड।
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
beginning हमेशा नहीं था स्टार यूसी लेने से पहले सोचता था 100 बार डर था बड़ा स्कैम्स का डाउट से हजार तो प्ले ओपी आया तो लगाई नया पर तो मैंने लिया यूसी सेव गेम किया रेस प्ले मेरे साथ यहाँ ड्रॉप से कम हार्ड प्ले तेरे साथ ओपी तू भी कर ले स्टार्ट
Man, oh man, absolutely fired up performance coming in from Victoris Sumus, who finally got their chicken dinner, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be very happy after taking a sip of the Bisleri water. They're going to drink it up after achieving this big victory, which they eventually fumbled previously 2 to 3 times, but And that was a nice clutch coming in from Thunder in the last 1v2.
Of course, and I think VS, they started showing signs of aggression in the last Sanhok yesterday itself, where they got more than 16 points in a single match, and that too in the power play. And this chicken dinner was much needed, just like always mentioned, and it was much deserved. But all the last few remaining teams were those who were struggling in the leaderboard. 4TR, FS, a good performance coming in. All in all, I think it was a day of comebacks.
And I think so even Middle are going to be pretty happy with the way how they've been performing, right? You mentioned about this being the day of comeback. And I think so they also have now consistently good performances, but just not good enough as this man now being the MVP. Hunters, 6 freaking finishes, out of which the last 5 were individual finishes when his entire team fell. There's absolutely no one who can match his level right now. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that considering iQOO is also in a pretty insane form. But the way how this man has shown his consistency, it is bonkers.
You know, those 6 finishes could have also been 7 or 8 because he tried to pull off a 1v2 against the players of 4TR where he did manage to knock down one player of 4TR, and before he got the confirmation, he was the one to be eliminated. Almost. So yes, this could have been 2 extra finish points for him as well.
I mean, you know what? With you mentioning all of that, I really want to have a look at those moments one more time, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be the OnePlus Never Settle moments, highlights of the previous game. And it all kick-started with 8-bit showing some signs, and then K9 wanting to hunt the bounty. Did not realize the man they were hunting eventually falling down, and those laughs show exactly that, and this was the reason of those laughs.
Yeah, Hunters, this guy is built different. Whenever it comes to utility usage, Hunters has always been on point, and not just on this tournament, previously also when he was part of Reckoning Esports, the only thing which distinguished Hunters from the rest of the player is those precise grenades, precise molotovs. Even the players of PS, they tried to do a lot of damage against the players of 4TR, and that last 1v1 which Thunder pulled off rewarded them with a winner-winner chicken dinner.
Big one indeed, because they needed it. They needed it for their own confidence as well. So 4TR is going to be the team that actually gets the first place, because again 21 overall points, 15 finishes, 6 position coming in with Victor de Sumus, 21 for them as well, considering they got 10 points from the placement. Genesis though 16 points while being eliminated at such a spot that's not even in the top 8. Shadow, it's in the bottom 8. This is just bonkers.
I think 12 points are just by Hunters. 6 finishes, he was the impact player, considering he didn't get a single finish in the power play.
He did actually.
So more than 12 points.
Exactly, it's more than 12 points, right? Because it probably is that one of the players of his team had also got one finish, considering it was in the power play itself. So that's 2 points for you. Eventually, Hunters also got a couple of finishes in the power play. That is just bonkers.
Also, Genesis is in the top 3 without a single chicken dinner. That also showcases how strong the entire team is. Just 27 finish points. Second least position points, Second least position point, 27. Just relying entirely on the aggression.
It's mostly because of the bonus points, Shadow. Yeah. They've got 62 bonus points. And that has been their main focus. I think so. If this form continues, Genesis is going to be unstoppable pretty soon once they get that chicken dinner with this kind of performance. But now, since 6 days are over, 16 matches completed for all these teams, and I have to say this is one of the most competitive top 24, or rather just top 20 that I have seen. Considering with the performances that have been constantly going there, right? Even 8-bit, they have got 101 points at least. That means just a couple of good games and they can propel themselves back up into the top 5.
But here's the thing, they are struggling. Even if they get those 4 fights converted in the power play itself, the survival, the third parties are becoming a lot of problem for the players of 8-bit. This time also they were able to get 6 points in the power play itself, but they were not ready for the third party which came in, and eventually they were the one to be eliminated.
I think so one of the big reasons that's happening right now is because his power is not really feeling himself, right? We have seen this man pulling off clutches after clutches multiple times, and I think so he's the main reason why 8-bit was one of the most feared lineup coming in. And we normally would see him in the TBS Raider most wicket player list, but he's not there right now. It's still going to be iQOO as the first one and Hunters being the second.
AKOP is there to steal the show, but Hunters, like you mentioned, is definitely giving him a tough competition. Even Edwino is also not that far behind. 32 finishes, 16 matches. Soul Legit is also there with 29 finishes. But Spray God, the man from the side of Global Esports, is also someone who is equally precise with those util usages. 28 finishes, and I think he's one of the main reasons whenever Global Esports performs really good, he's always behind that.
I think so. One of the big reasons, or rather one of the big things that we can see right now is that there's not big gap between the 10th placing player as well as the 4th placing player. So that's going to be, one of the best things happening out there. Just like the TVS Raider right now, we would normally see Robin sitting there, but this time it's Justin, one of the best in class and super solid bike that even Necro is head over heels over. So you might want to check it out, ladies and gentlemen, because it comes in N number of colors. So your shade, you pick it up, you get that bike, and you enjoy your ride. But coming back to the conversation now, again, we've been talking about the top 10 players in terms of the finishes. AKOP again being on top, but we were seeing a solid domination from OG previously, right?
Yeah.
Now we don't really see that.
It was only missing today, I think. Yesterday, only AKOP performed really good.
It's basically happening like out of the 3 days, they perform on 2 days, right? Or rather 1 day. And on the back of that one big performance, they consistently get the rest of the points and they propel themselves back up. Because yesterday, I remember there were 3 players of OG in the top 10 list. Now it's brought down to just 2. So that means the rest of the teams are also picking up their pace.
I think you're just nitpicking. There is nothing to complain about the players of OG at this point. OG, let's be honest, okay? They're at the top of the leaderboard. AKOP is at the top in terms of the finishes. Yesterday only that guy was able to get more than 14 finishes for the team. That too when he was an impact player, and that too in the power play, eliminating the bounty team as well. So many points, so much just for Orangutan and AKOP.
Here's the thing, right? Considering the performance and the bar that OG have set for themselves, if they don't match it, it makes everyone feel like, yeah, they're not really performing to their full potential. That's the only thing that I probably feel right now. But since we've been talking about those finishes constantly, ladies and gentlemen, the Swiggy 99 finishes are here. We've had 99 finishes for the 14 times out here. And having a look at the Red Bull Max finishes as well. AKOP again leading the charts with 36. I'm pretty sure that he was somewhere around 32 or 34 yesterday. So or somewhere above 30. That's something I remember. So not a good day, but it's absolutely fine. They're going to pull themselves back up. A nice day for Hunters again, being on that second place. So the blue cap is still going to remain on the head of the orange boys.
Yeah, of course, Orangutan has been doing pretty decent from the very start, from the very first day itself. But slowly and steadily, all the bottom teams have also started picking up the pace. Metal Esports, they got a chicken dinner. And this time, VS also getting a beautiful winner chicken dinner. 4TR, making it to the top 2 in the last Erangel. I think finally all the bottom teams have started showing the signs of life.
And I absolutely love that, right? Since the competition is now getting even more tough, that is something that racks your hopes up, ladies and gentlemen. No one wants to see one team on the top and rest trailing behind. But it's the super fun entire format about BGMS Season 4. The action will continue tomorrow. Join us in as well. Bye-bye.